What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Unexplainable Live. I see we've got the one and only Jenny Love. Oh, wait, I've only got half a heart. Hold on. We got Jenny Love in the house. Here she is. Hello, you beauty. And my star guest. Wait, where are you? Wait, oh, hold on.
I'm on the other side.
It's been 2 years, and I still don't know which to point.
You never know what side I'm going to come out on.
We got Tara and T. You know, when Shani and Tara and T get together, you know it's going to be something absolutely crazy.
It's going to be something. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely going to be something for sure.
Jenny's calling us beautiful, isn't she kind?
Oh,
she's generous. We were out so late yesterday, which was hilarious because she was in the car with PLE driving to their location. I was in the car with Fluff driving to our location, and our locations were roughly the same distance. It took us that long to get there.
Oh,
she got rained out of her para challenge. I got it wasn't rained out. It was like teenagered out because they were partying in my location. I was like,
bloody teenagers.
Ooh. God, so neither one of us got to do our challenge. I'm going to do mine tonight, though. So
yes, hopefully I'm going to get to do mine tonight, too. We've only got until Thursday. So
I know, we've got till Thursday. I have a location in mind. I just didn't want to do a cemetery because I felt like everybody was going to that was easy, right? Just to do a cemetery. And I feel like I'm going to end up getting stuck doing a cemetery.
Me too.
But I'm going to pick a good one.
Yes.
I'm going to pick one with some history, like people would actually know of it. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to do that one.
I think the plan is... Oh, let's quickly say hello before I tell you my plan for my
Haley. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Melissa. And there's Fluff and Dakota. Hi.
Hi, Dakota. He made it. Hello, guys. Welcome.
Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure. I'll buy you a biscuit.
If you want a biscuit, smash the like button.
Smash the like button.
Not the American biscuit, like the British biscuit.
Well, unless you like the American biscuit with gravy.
Oh, I actually do. I've actually tried them now. I went to Waffle House.
You weren't going to last them without PLE showing you biscuits and gravy. He had ranted about it while you were in the UK. So you had to be exposed.
I am pretty sure he's addicted to
Sandra!
Gravy. Hi, Pinky! Hi! So, yes. So the paranormal challenge, for those that have just come in, me and Jen were chatting to ourselves whilst we were waiting for you guys. And we were talking about how our filming for the paranormal challenge is, the Paragames challenge is going. And
challenge number one.
we found ourselves into a bit of a spot of bother, really. So my first attempt, which I told some people yesterday, but if you're new, day before yesterday, my first one was I was going to go back to the animal sacrifice cabin where I did the seances and it all got a bit spooky in there.
That would be so awesome.
I have been begging to go back to that place for so long. I absolutely love it, and you guys are definitely going to see a lot more videos coming from there as well. We just need to wait until fall time. What does it say?
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. We'll wait until
Halloween.
It's a
Ray Dunn cup. It's not as big as it looks like. Everything looks bigger on camera.
Everything does look bigger on camera. Yes. You see me in real life, and I'm literally this tiny. Honest.
She really is tiny.
Yeah.
She fits in a jar.
I'm like Alice in Wonderland.
She ate the biscuit and it shrank her like Alice in Wonderland.
Yep. That was
Hi, Jax.
Hi, hello, welcome everybody.
Smash that like button.
I went to my first location, which was going to be the animal sacrifice cabin in the woods. Very haunted, very spooky, perfect location for the para challenge. But so we got there.
Raindrops.
It wasn't rain this time. We were walking down the path and we were getting hit in the face by cobwebs and everything. We were like, okay,
oh, that's right,
it's going to be okay. Went to go and start walking into the woods. Oh, these big, massive spiders are just dropping from the trees. They are coming down like snowballs I wish it was snow and not spiders, but unfortunately it was spiders.
Spiders have their place in this world, just not on my head, in my home. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can deal with snakes, but I can't deal with spiders.
I nearly had one on my head. If it wasn't for PLE pulling me out the way, because he saw it coming down and it was like above me, and he was like, no, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm sorry. The challenge is not happening today. I can't do it. I was gutted that I couldn't go to the cabin. So we were like, right, we'll wait until tomorrow. So yesterday, went to Daniel's, going back to the church, and knowing that it's quite a haunted location and was going to be perfect. The rain wouldn't stop. No, it just kept coming and coming and coming. And I mean, our phones are, you know, splash proof, but they're not.
You never know. With that much rain, it's like, what if, you know? That's how I feel. It's like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna be able to replace this right away. So.
And one of my lights has literally got a fat battery sticking out at the back. There you go. So it's like, I don't want to break that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So then I was like, why didn't I just go to Suicide Bridge, Gettysburg? I was like, that would have been a really good location. Yeah. Should have gone there. But I do know.
Hi, Sago.
Hi. I do know. Oh, Melissa as well. Hello, welcome.
She's been in here for a minute. You missed her.
Oh, no way. I'm so sorry, Melissa.
You're talking about the rain and the spiders.
Oh, the spoilers.
Take your attention away.
But I do know, the thing is, I do know for the next couple of months, they've got a lot of paranormal tours at the bridges, like the Sachs Bridge and the Suicide Bridge as well. So I don't know if that's going to work, but I do. And everyone that's here right now, tell me if it's a good idea. I was thinking about going back to where we first met Ruth. So yes, it is cemetery. But it's in Gettysburg, the most bloodiest battle that happened, as we all know.
But see, that yours isn't just any cemetery. It's literally Gettysburg. Like, it's not like, okay, this is a Resurrection Cemetery over here, you know, in no-name Egypt, right?
Right.
Like, yours is literally a well-known cemetery that is well-known for paranormal activity. So
yeah,
I could see how, like, you know, it's not just any cemetery. So, but literally, like, Melissa said she did hers in, like, her backyard. Like, I mean, spirits wander anywhere. You can do a paranormal investigation anywhere, and you never know what you're going to catch. So she might have caught some really cool stuff. I could stand outside
my front door, and you know, like there's going to be souls absolutely everywhere. Like, I think this is what some people forget as well. I think a lot of people believe that you have to be in a haunted house or a cemetery to be able to actually communicate. But that's not the case. I mean, something tragic could have happened right outside our front doors. No, you don't know that. So, you know, there's always souls. Like, my mum's best friend was a white witch, and she had all the senses. Like, she could see, she could see, hear, everything. She could sit on the sofa and literally be having a conversation. Like, it was crazy to see. But she used to go outside and start moving out the way as if someone was, and she's like, oh god, no, because to her they look like real people,
right?
So
Kelsey Davies is like that. She can sit and, like, she sees spirits all the time, like, just blasé, like, oh, there they are, you know, they appear in her car and in her house and stuff like that. And I'm like, imagine that. Like, you're like, I know some of her shorts are hilarious, and they really are, like her YouTube shorts, and she'll be like getting dressed, and like all of a sudden there's this old man spirit that's like, ooh, and she's like, hello.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, there are people that see them just like in their natural living fleshy form. And I'd be like, I think that would scare me, because that would mess with my head. Like, are they real? Is that an actual person? Versus like the apparition, like the transparency type ones that a lot of us associate it with. Because, like, you know that's a spirit. Like, you will know, right? Or you at least you'll have the audacity to think it is a spirit, versus like just seeing like a full opaque person. you wouldn't even know. You'd be like, why are you in my house?
Right? Yeah.
Someone call 911.
Right. Intruder. And then the police turn up and they're like, there's no one here. They're there. That's it. You're going to the psych ward.
I know, right? That's what I would be like. I'm like, okay. Remember that movie, A Beautiful Mind, where he would see people and he didn't like, he actually had to ask people, like, do you see that person? And they're like, yeah. And then he would start talking to them because he's like, I don't know if you're real or fake. I loved that movie because like, so like it really deep dived into like schizophrenia and stuff like that, which is like a real thing.
Yeah.
So, which is a thing we have to battle with, is like people thinking like, oh no, you're just seeing stuff. Like, it may or not be real, you know? And that's like the big, like, isn't that the big like benchmark in our paranormal investigations?
Yes.
Is like, are we really seeing this, or can it be explained away?
Yeah.
And you know, so many people lean towards the ultimate scientific side versus like, you know, just giving it the possibility that it probably deserves, you know, or does deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think people need to have a much more open mind to this as well. Like with the amount of technology and stuff like that, and having mediums and psychics and stuff around, like when it comes to scientists and policemen mainly, they're like, no, paranormal, no, it doesn't exist. Like,
oh my god,
it's like, just have an open mind.
Have you seen that video of the cops that go into the cemetery and someone blows an Aztec death whistle and they like almost fell to the floor and ran back to their car? Oh my gosh, you have to go look for it. It is hilarious. As much as cops are like, they'll go into cemeteries and like, nothing's here, until they hear something and then they're like, vroom, and like, okay, now go surreal, right? And they'll be like, no, we don't know who it was that made that sound or whatever. And it's like, really? Because if it was any other place, you might have ducked down,
right?
But you wouldn't have bolted for your car, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes I think people like, they psych themselves up. They're like, no, it's not real, until they're in that area, in that place or whatever, and then it's like, okay, this is speculated to be haunted, you know. Right. I've seen some like stoic people that don't budge if they hear anything, but 9 times out of 10 I see people like, they'll give it that little ounce enough to scare the shit out of themselves, like they do. I've never seen someone so brave as to not wonder, like, could that be, you know? Now whether or not they're going to run from it, debatable, but I think innately we want to kind of give it that chance, you know. And some are better than others. I know I've jumped a few times. As much as I'm around the dead every day, I still get a little like, what was that? You know, right? As brave as I might be, right?
Absolutely. But talking of the Aztec whistle, I am trying to find one. So like when it comes to the paranormal, and then a lot of people do get mad with me. You've got one!
I have two. I have a small one.
I mean, yes, that's
it's way over there though. But I got both. Technically, they're both bluffs. Because I bought them for him. I think for his birthday last year, I bought him 2 Aztec death whistles. One of them's really small, and I want to say I got that one on eBay. And it has like a little notch where you can put it on a chain, like in the back, where you can actually feed like cord through it or what. That was bad. Don't pay attention to that. You can feed a cord through the little hole and wear it as a necklace. And so that one's only about like this big. I'll have to like, it's like way over there. Like I have to hop over shit to get it. Okay. But the other one, this one's so much bigger. Like literally, like that's like, it takes up my hand. It's not heavy. Yeah. And it's not really hard to blow in. I think the smaller one requires a little more pressure. But this one's not bad. But it is loud. They can get loud. And so I could totally see, like, if you were hiding from some people and they were coming up a dark trail and you blew that, yeah, they're gonna, you know, poop their pants, right? You know, but it would be hilarious.
But it's supposed to stir up negative, like,
and it does sound. It's supposed to just sound like wallowing, or you know, spirits that are in like purgatorious pain or whatever. Or just like, you know, it does. It has a very, especially in person, like you can hear them over videos and you can get a gist of it, but in person it's, you can get the details of the sound, you know, the full spectrum of the sound, that comes out of it. And it's like, yeah, that does sound like if somebody was in a lot of pain or something like that. It's interesting. Like we've had it for a bit. But it was like something that I had bought for him. I'm like, we haven't even really tried it yet, like on location. We've taken it, but the problem with it is because it is loud. Like if you're anywhere near the proximity of homes or anywhere else and you blow that, yeah, you're gonna get raided by the cops. Like that's the only problem is like if you're in an abandoned building or anything, you can't blow that. Like, you know, so it's hard to find a place that's appropriate for it. Like you'd have to be in a private lockdown investigation type setting, or at least like way far away from like people that wouldn't, you know, think that it's a woman screaming, you know, that type of stuff.
Right, yeah. So Helly says here that she saw Twin Paranormal use it. I love Twin Paranormal.
Twin Paranormal. I love Twin Paranormal.
Bloody brilliant. And Andrew as well. He's now in Britain, isn't he?
I think so.
I forget his channel name. I know what his channel name is, but you know.
It's Rochelle. Rochelle's here.
Hi, Rochelle.
Hello.
Are you having a good day?
Did you bring coffee?
Look, I changed my mug as well. So
yeah, today is clear mug day.
Clear mug day with a handle.
It's clear mug day.
and Mo Sargi did it when he was in that house. He was up in the attic.
Omar's done it. Omar did it in I forget which tunnel it was.
Phase Rock tunnel?
It wasn't that tunnel. Like it was like a death tunnel. I think I was Omar or not Omar, but Mo with him during that one. I think so. Where they blew it, probably, and they blew it in like either it might have been Mo or James, but I have to look for the video. And it was one of those halls where they took the dead bodies. I forget which location it is. I think you know which one. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, he blew it down that hallway, and I was like, "Yo, brave." I think Tiff was even there too. And they're like, Omar, I know you're lurking. Where was this?
Yeah, I know you're lurking. Where are you, you demon?
Hi, pizza demon. Speaking of demon.
Yeah, speaking of demons, hello.
Greetings. Have you brought biscuits?
Did you bring me a pizza, demon?
If you're not sharing, then don't share.
If you're not going to share your pizza, at least go and smash the like button.
Okay, so we're on the paranormal. We're kicking it with paranormal today.
Yes,
apparently.
Always.
What was your first piece of paranormal equipment? What was like the one thing you were like, I have to buy this so I can start my paranormal career?
Okay, let me have a think, because I think I kind of got a couple of things at the same time. So that would have been the Paranormal Park.
Ooh,
don't know if anyone's seen it. I know you probably know that one.
Fluff wants one.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're so good. They are so good. You put that puck in any room you want. You've got your laptop. You write your questions in, and then you just go for gold. It's brilliant. It gives you the chills when you use it. Yeah. But I think it did give me the chills because I was very new to the paranormal. Now I'm like trying to scare myself, and it's just not working.
Right.
I got too brave, so I need something to scare me. So yeah, I had the Paranormal Park, and I also purchased the SLS, the Xbox.
The Connect,
the reconditioned one. I got that. I think they were like my first two. Oh, and a voice recorder.
I think everybody I think essentially what are your first two things that most people buy, like a voice recorder and a K2, right?
Yeah, so absolutely. With that pack, that I got, my K2 is over there somewhere. Is the see-through one with the orange.
With the orange.
My mum got me that one, and she was so happy. She was just like, "Look what I got you."
That one's expensive, believe it or not. Like that one's pricey.
Yes.
But you know, a lot of people I've seen it on Ghost Adventures. Like that was the first time I ever saw it.
Yeah.
Zach or Nick or somebody was using it, and I was like, how come theirs looks different than mine? You know?
Yeah, I really liked it when I saw it.
I will tell you, I will take a step back from everybody. My first piece of paranormal equipment, even though some would say it's a paranormal piece of equipment, some might not. Didn't we all get a Ouija board first?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
A lot of people got them because they're, in my case, my siblings had it. And my siblings are dramatically older than me. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And so that was always in the house. So the first time I ever attempted anything, and it was like at a sleepover type situation, we pulled out like the Ouija board. And so I always kind of like, we didn't get anything, you know, other than like, you could tell when people are moving shit, right? And we were like 14 years old. And so they were moving it and making like cracks and jokes and stuff. But like, I didn't even realize at that age, because this is way back when dinosaurs roamed the planet.
Yeah.
And so other than like, nobody told you like the always, the nevers, the proper way. Nobody tells you shit, right? You didn't know any of that other than reading the little pamphlet, right? And then Hollywood, you had movies that scared you, right?
Yeah.
So stupid me is over there like, hoo-hoo, right? And I just ended up putting it in the closet in my room. So I always say like, that's probably like my first piece of paranormal equipment, even though I wasn't technically investigating with it by any means. But somebody told me, they're like, did you have a Ouija board first? And I was like, before my K2, I did own one. I didn't use it for that purpose, but I did own one. And I was like, yeah, I have to give credit to the fact that I did have a Ouija board first. But my very first piece of paranormal equipment was probably a voice recorder. Because I would watch like those old school, like back when Unsolved Mysteries, do you remember that show?
Yeah, I'm watching it again now.
Yeah. Oh my God. On Discovery Plus, was it Discovery Plus or Peacock? Yes. One of them has it. Thanks to oh my you, God, they would do some haunted paranormal segments, like especially around Halloween, like they did the Sally House. And there was one about a bunk bed that I don't know if I'd have to look up which episode it is, but there was a bunk bed that these people bought from like a thrift store or something. And apparently their house was like haunted as shit from this bunk bed, this set of stacked beds for their kids. Like their house caught on fire and there was like all kinds of things that they saw and all this stuff. And I remember being a younger kid and seeing this and being like, oh my God, because my mom loves thrifting. She loves going to like thrift stores and buying shit. I'm like, get all that shit out of our house because it's evil. And you know, stuff like that would like scare me. And so these people just had simple things like voice recorders. So I thought the way you heard a ghost was you didn't hear them, like you had to hear them over these little devices. So I bought a voice recorder. And it probably wasn't until like 5 years ago maybe that I bought a K2. And the reason that like I was detoured from buying a K2 was because everybody's saying how it picks up pretty much everything. Like if there's a refrigerator in the house that you're investigating, it's going to pick it up. A microwave, you know, picks it up. That's because that's what that device is actually made to do. But I was like, okay, so it throws me off because I find it to be like one of the more least reliable pieces of equipment, unless it's like going to red and like really like working it. You know what I mean? But like I'll sit there and be like, that's probably the last thing I pick up anymore is the KT meter. But I understand like for our videos and stuff, people like seeing them because it's a visual tool. And that's why the cat balls work and stuff.
Yeah, I always tend to do baseline tests. I mean, so far, yes, there is some areas where it will naturally spike, but not like, say, like I'm sat here, it wouldn't pick up the fridge. It tends to, you have to go really close to like an electronic like device. But if you're in like an abandoned house, or a property, or you're in the woods or something like, and it's spiking, that I can't explain. Or if you're in a graveyard using it and it's spiking, like how is that? It needs
sometimes they can spike off of if there's electric poles, and sometimes the type of stones that are used can create a electric pulse, like granite and stuff like that. If there's copper used and stuff, it can. Now, is it going to spike to red off of a stone? Probably not red, but you know, if it has like those, because you know we always see the little jumps from like green to yellow, you know, the flutters is what I call them, like the little flutters. Those ones I don't tend to like give too much excitement on. Sometimes those are like the start of it, you know, and then it'll go into orange and red and stuff, which is cool. But I'll sit there and be like, all right, let's see what happens. But I've been in locations where I've seen that thing fly to red and like stay there consistently. And it's like, it'll have been something like a surge in the building or whatever from underground ley lines and stuff. And Therefore, scientifically, you've debunked it. And that's part of our job, investigating, like, right, the precursor is the investigating part, is to make sure that what we're getting cannot be explained by any other means. So debunking the fact that there might be copper piping in the location, and that will make equipment go off. But if you're getting a disembodied voice, I don't care how much copper piping's in there. A voice is a voice.
Yeah.
So the voice recorders were really like the thing. But and then it became what voice recorder to buy. Like, you know, which one do I need? And you need one with good highs and lows and different ranges and stuff like that. So I was like, which one do you buy? So I bought like these Sony ones that everybody said you had to buy, and they were expensive as hell. And then I bought like a $30 one, and I seem to get more like deeper sounds, it seems like, with my little cheapo one. So I use those ones more often. But yeah, so like I think if I have to be authentic, it was probably a Ouija board. That was my first piece.
See, but I after would that, be scared for years to touch one of them, and then
see, I was stupid, and I'll admit it. I was stupid. I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, I was fearless about it, which is funny because when I was younger, like, I was afraid of my own shadow. Like, if you told me a place was haunted, I wouldn't even drive past it. Like, I'd be like this, you know? And everybody's like, oh, you know, someone died. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, but now I'm like, oh, someone died there? Can I come in? Like, I'll bring you a pie if you let me come in your house. But it's funny how things change. And like when I was younger, I didn't even like thunderstorms because it was scary and loud, you know. And now I'm like, ooh, give me a blanket in a horror movie.
Right.
But there are, to this day, some horror movies that I still can't watch. Because, like, they still give me the creeps that bad. Like, and it's crazy because I know movies are movies. I've worked on the Universal backlots doing special effects makeup for certain promos and movies and stuff like that. And so I know how it works.
Yeah.
But it still messed with my mind enough as a little one that I'm like, no, I'll still pull my blankets up over. Like, one movie in particular that I cannot get over. I'm like, I won't watch it by myself. I'm like, no, Fluff, get your ass over here and watch this with me. But even then, it's like, it'll still, like, I'll be going to sleep, and tell me if you do this, where you're sitting there and you're quiet, everything's calming down, you get ready for sleep, and all of a sudden the theme song comes in your head, or that one scene comes in your head, and you're like, oh no, it's gonna get me. Like, that's me. Even at my age, I'm like, dude, no, I don't want to envision that. Get out of my head. It's like, nope, we're not going to bed now. Like, my mind messes with me so bad. My mind's the worst.
That's crazy. Oh, Marianne, thank you so much. She's doing a 12-hour Shani marathon. There isn't anything better than see me for hours and hours a day. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you all for coming to join us as well.
I will check.
Me and Jen have always got so much to talk about, so
we're
stick around.
Mouths. Oh my! Remember that time we were on the phone for like 5 hours?
Oh my gosh!
Did we even get our point across? Like, the reason why we called?
No,
probably not.
I don't even think we even spoke about what we wanted to speak about in the first place.
It gave us something to call back about.
Exactly.
But the paranormal is so much fun, and I think it has to be fun, otherwise we wouldn't do it. Like,
absolutely,
to be scared, to actually go and get scared, like there's that thrill with it.
Absolutely.
You know?
I feel like I'm losing the fear that I had before, so I really need to like step it up. But I know that time will come at some point. But we got to go
to some like hardcore locations. That's the thing. Like, I think that they're so saturated now that we know what to expect, or we know the residential ghosts and things like that. We've almost built up a rapport with them, you know, like getting to know them through other people's videos and everything, that we're like, I know to anticipate you. I know to anticipate this. So unless you're getting pushed and your hair pulled and all this other stuff, you're like, I've been there, I've experienced that. So we're almost desensitized, because I know that's how I'm getting. That's why for the para games, I was like, I can't just go to any location. I got to go to one that challenges me. And so I tried to go to the Griffith Park, old LA Zoo, just because it was kind of visually fascinating, but also because of, like, you know, the well-known haunts and stuff like that, or the Bronson Caves over there. And then it was like, didn't happen. but you know, I'll find something else, because you never know. Even like the lower known or most, like, you know, dare I say, the unloved places, you know, that don't get quite up the hype.
Yeah.
You're probably going to catch something there because, you know, the spirits haven't seen people in a while. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, I think I'm definitely going to go into Gettysburg tonight. I'll either go to where we first met Ruth, or across the road to the battlefield.
yeah. See, Rochelle says that's why she doesn't pay to do the big places anymore. You almost like, see, the only one that I would pay good money for is the Whaley House, because very, very few people have done it since they just started opening up to investigations. And to me, it's like, that's been in my backyard my whole life. And you didn't get the opportunity to do a private locked in investigation. Like, you could do their midnight ghost tour type shit, but like to actually do an investigation, you had to watch production companies do it. Like, you know, Ghost Adventures, you know, Most Haunted, things like that. Like, they could do it and they caught stuff. But, you know, for the average person, for the longest time, they didn't let them do it because you had to be bonded by like some astronomical amount because it was a historic preservation site, things like that. So they just didn't allow just anybody to do it. And now that a new company has bought them over, they're allowing for it. It's just expensive. But to me, that one is like, you know, since a child, I've wanted to do that. Like, you know, since I started, not really a child, but since I started really getting into the paranormal, so like in my teens, I'm like, you know, I've wanted to just like lock me in there. I want to see, I want to know. Because even when Fluff and I were sitting on the steps that one night when he was doing his live stream, we could hear walking, like footsteps above us in the little like, because there's like a little like balcony, I guess you would say. And we were like, what is that? And they sounded like, you know, not just so much wood cracking or anything like that, but like a heavy footstep, like dun dun. Like there was just two. And that's why me and him would all of a sudden look up and be like, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah. And like your ear gets trained to know footsteps from like just wood popping from settling or anything like that, because during the day it's warm, at night it's cold. So wood expands and contracts and create popping and all that. But it was like, and it's well known that Yankee Jim walks around over there. He lets people know, like, I'm here. And he was one of the last people that was hung on that property. And Mr. Whaley watched him get hung. Right. So he has an attachment to that house. And people that have been there have said, like, he'll push you and stuff like that because he really likes to prove his point. He really likes to be heard. So I'm like, I want to experience it. It's like the Conjuring house. Fluff really wants to go to the Conjuring house. And, you know, our friend Adam, the Paranormal Polynesian, just did it not like about a month ago. And he was like, yeah, that one tested me a little bit. But the other one that I really, really want to take you and PLE to is the Queen Mary. It's just, you experience, I mean, and also because you're British, like, I think we might catch more. We're going to use you as ghost bait.
Oh, I'm so down. And I
because
think
she's got the accent.
Bring my heart rate up a bit. I think that would be the place.
That one would test us because people do, like, I stayed on there for a week, like with my family, my kids and my ex-husband. We stayed for the Thanksgiving holiday, the whole week. Right. And I didn't see anything, but I kid you not, you feel stuff. You feel, it can control your emotions. Like, I will 100% vouch for that. You go on there and it can drain you because some of those spirits did not accept death. Like, they died and they were like, I'm not ready to die. So their spirit or their energy is locked into that vessel. Plus it was a warship and all this other stuff. So it's like, you know, they choose to remain there. And what do they need? They need to have energy in order to manifest and stuff like that. So who do they go for? Like, humans. So they'll show themselves to you. And I've heard some crazy stuff. And Adam, Paranormal Polynesian, had really crazy experiences on there. And for me, it's like, I didn't get to see it, but I felt it there. If that makes sense. Like, you know, something's in the room with you, you know, something's there, and you're just like, I'm uneased. My skin's like, you know, tingling everywhere, hair standing up. I know something's there and it's not showing itself to you just yet. I've had at least a dozen experiences like that on that ship. But ultimately, it's like, you almost, as a paranormal investigator, anybody in the paranormal, you know, you have to experience it, like, to really know what it is I'm actually talking about. It's intense. It's an intense one. So I do want, when you guys come out here, like hopefully eventually it'll be back open to
I know, I was so
renting
sad
the
when they
rooms.
said they were closing the doors, like, because they said for good. I'm
Yeah,
sure that's what I heard.
No, it was because the repairs to the ship were like astronomical in cost. And the company, the management company that they had were, getting the money to do it, and they just never did it. So they bankrupt. And then it's like, okay, how do we get our money back? This place doesn't have the money. You're not going to get it back. So now and it's owned by the city of Long Beach. And so the city is like, this was all during COVID and everything. And they're like, we don't have the money. So they had to find people to help them out with that, investors and whatnot. And they finally got some people that are like, no, we will not let this ship go. It's been a part of Long Beach history. It's a part of American and international world history. So it's, people put in for it. There's donation sites and everything for it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Would you guys be doing a beginner's advice Q&A for the new? Of course, I would. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. I'm so down.
I definitely would. Especially as women in the paranormal, I think sometimes we get discredited more, or we get told that we're sensitive about things. So like, I'm always an advocate for women being like, no, go do it. Like, because we're expected to be afraid, I think. Yeah. And the men will go in there like, ooh, but you know what? Most of the guys are the ones that freak out. Like, if you've ever been in a haunted location, men will just be quiet. They get quiet when they're scared.
He doesn't do paranormal, and we're literally going to ruin his life. I mean, I'm halfway there doing it to him already. Poor little sod. It's like, I said to him, I was like, you should join in these para game challenges. He's like, it's not that I don't want to, kind of. He was like, yeah, I just I might get possessed or something. Like, as it is, I've brought all these dolls into his house. Like, yeah, he likes his Ouija boards and his planchettes and stuff like that. But we all know he's not one to meddle. He doesn't he likes the meddle aesthetic. In that. Yeah,
he likes the aesthetic.
Exactly. So now I've come along and it's like, oh, let's talk to Zozo. Wait. he's just like, ooh.
See, with me, I've got a freaking person Fluff living with me that's like, send me your haunted dolls, and I'm like, excuse you, we don't need any more haunted stuff in our house. Like, we don't allow it in
I need to buy some more shelves just to get them up. I've got my girls down there at the moment. Well, they're still there.
With me, I'm like, ooh, a new tarot deck, and he's like, ooh, a new haunted doll, and I'm like,
you get your tarot deck, I get my doll.
Yeah, and he's always like, if anyone has anything haunted that you do not want, send it here. And I was like, somebody's gonna send you a Dybbuk box, and I'm gonna have to break you in half when that thing shows up. Like, oh my gosh,
I want one.
I know, and I'm like, you and Shani can go. We'll rent you guys a shed. We'll get you like an office where all your crazy freaking haunted shit can go.
Honestly,
and you guys can sit there and bust open stuff and summon things.
Yeah, go to America. Take all your dolls with you.
No, I remember when Tanya. I remember when oh gosh, you again. Didn't I tell you last time to go away? That wonderful tarot destroyer.
Oh, nice. Oh, they come over here now as well to the positive.
Oh, yeah, they showed up. They want to have tea with us.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got lots to go.
Don't worry, they have a second channel. Don't worry, Tarot Destroyer. I figured out who you were. So they have a second channel. So don't worry, they'll be back. Don't worry, guys. Those of you in blue, she'll be back. They, whoever. But yeah, they got two channels. They've already been reported by like 100 people. So the YouTube
this will be the first time I've been reported.
Oh, they're going to report us. Well, trust me, they were going to report me. They were reporting me, and YouTube said you're stupid, and just disregarded it.
Oh, really?
So, no, but this person, they need a hug, and that's what it is. They want a hug, and they want to be involved. So you know what? If you go by your actual channel name, Tarot Destroyer, and come back in and hang out with us, we will welcome you. We'll hang out with you. We'll talk to you. It's okay. You don't have to be nasty. We don't mind you.
I'm going to put them on timeout. Yes, I'm going to send them to the corner. There we go.
Then we're going to the crybaby corner.
Yep.
But, yeah. So, back where we were. Where were we? Somebody, where were we? They need a hug from a porcupine. They need a hug from a dumpster fire.
It's okay because I'm nearly monetized, and Tarot Destroyer is giving me my last hours.
Thank you for the view.
Thank you so much.
And I know you're
Everybody
still watching, so thanks for the watch.
A big round of applause.
You all, we love you. We have nothing. This is positivity.
There's no negativity here, and we actually love you coming by.
Mm-hmm. They're a glum lot, so they need love. They needed to be here. They needed to show up. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, we're gonna use you as ghost bait on the Queen Mary. You're gonna be like, hey, she's from your land.
I know. Can you imagine, like, it with me being British as well? I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just blocking this person. That's not working. Timeout. We'll do that one instead. Yeah, with me being British as well, I definitely think that it could stir up some. Did you block?
We're doing the troll dance.
Something. The troll dance.
And there goes another troll. And there goes another troll.
This is my
we're not top of the pops. We're not top of the pops if we don't have trolls in the chat.
Right.
Thank you for making us relevant.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you know, when it comes to trolls, they're just confused fans is what they are. They're just confused fans. And, you know, you got to love them because they make the world go round.
Absolutely.
If you don't have at least 12 haters
at all.
If you don't have at least 12 haters, let me know. I'll get you a couple.
And you know, I'm doing pretty well. Like, this is my first troll. I've been on the scene for 2 years almost, and I've only just started.
You always get the sex box.
I think I've got 10 dislikes on all 200 videos that I've got.
I get dislikes on my shorts. More than anything.
That's where mine come from, the shorts.
Yeah, and it's mostly because the the little pick a card thingy that I do, it'll say something like, does he still love me? And it's like, hell no. And they're like, hey, and in that regard, it's like you expect some dislikes, right? But oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I don't mind it. I always tell people, I don't mind a hater. It lets me know I'm doing something right because I'm relevant enough to you.
Yeah.
I'm in your headspace.
It literally makes me laugh. Like, I really don't mind. Like, it gives us something to talk about. I'm not one of those people that are gonna start crying about a bad comment or a troll coming in and no witchcraft and all this or whatever they're saying in there. It's funny, and I literally welcome.
What am I? Are we stirring a freaking cauldron right now? Like, where did this witchcraft come
I'm gonna put my black hood on in a minute. My black hooded cape.
I know, right? We'll put our witches' hats on and brew up some more coffee. Oh gosh, no, the Tarot Destroyers, they're something else. They're a great lot. Thanks for the view. We love you.
We do.
We can't be negative at this point. We just can't. We're too I used to laugh because Omar would get trolls, and they'd be like, "Omar is a blah 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 bloody wank blah blah," and I'm like, that's a lot of effort for someone who's not gonna read your comment because it's flying by so fast that it's like they're not gonna see your shit. Like, why are you why? But gotta love a troll. I gotta get a little troll doll. I thought I had one.
Oh, I used to collect them.
I used to collect those with the little gems in the stomach, and you make a wish.
Ones. Yeah.
And then you would play with their hair, you're supposed to play with their hair, I don't know. Are you putting them to sleep or are you making a wish playing with their hair, But yeah, I loved those. I had those in My Little Ponies and stuff like that. I loved being a kid of the 80s. You know what I mean? That was great times.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely.
So Lynn has asked, okay, girls, other than a colonic, so I don't poop myself on my first investigation, I'm a 60-year-old virgin. Any other advice? And Any other advice, one from each, please? Okay, so we'll start with Shani. What's your advice for her first investigation, other than a colonic?
Other than a colonic, well, my advice would be go and get that, because it's scary out there. I don't know. I guess I'd just say, have an open mind, an open heart. Always, I guess the only advice I could think of giving is do your research. Make sure you know how to protect yourself before and after an investigation, even if nothing happens whilst you're out there. I've come to learn that things can happen down the line if you end up picking up a negative energy or anything. Sometimes you don't actually know on the day if anything's happened or not. Right. So always try and this was my mistake for within the first year. I think it was until I came out here, really. So I've been here almost a year, guys. So I never used to protect myself. None of the saging. I'm not a massive religious person. I know that hurts some people's feelings, but I'm British, and I think this is where it is very, very different. So I've never really done the whole saying prayers and stuff like that, but I have come to learn it is very important to do that. Find out the right crystals. Again, I thought you needed any crystals until I started speaking to Jen here, and each crystal has a certain power of its own, and you need different ones to help you on investigations. So I guess that the only advice I could give is to do your research and make sure that you have the right protection everywhere you go. Even if you're sat at home and you just want to sit and call out, you still have to protect yourself. I think that's a big bit of advice.
Yeah, protection is number one. Just for the sake of, like you said, you never know what's coming forward, what wants to talk, what, or anything. See you later, like that.
Haley. Sorry, Jen. Haley's going.
Bye, Haley love. So my advice, first and foremost, protection. Find out, if the big thing is with the research portion, you may want to be one of those people that's like, I want to go in there blind and see what I catch. I don't want to know too much. But the important thing in the research portion, even if you don't want to know what residential ghosts are there or how active the location is, at least know what type of spirits are there, what the geographic location is. Because as Shani was saying, with prayer and things like that, some spirits, if you go to native ground and you start saying the Lord's Prayer, even though that's your personal prayer, it can be insulting to them. And so you're going to start bringing forth that kind of resistant or even negative energy. So sometimes it's okay, do I just say this to myself? Do I even wear my religious piece, or do visible, or do I keep it in my pocket? Clearly never abate your religious practice, because that's your faith, that's your protection. And that's the way it is for everybody. Like Shani not being super duper religious, but she knows how to ground herself in the sense of spirituality of her faith, what she believes to protect her. And that, is what I think everybody should bring with them on an investigation.
Yeah.
And as far as and I know you put the virginity component. I don't know if that actually has a, dare I say, a notable attribute in investigating. I don't know. I hadn't even really thought of that.
It might, because of innocence. So because you're very innocent in that respect.
Untapped energy. So that's something that I would just be a little bit more protective, carry your faith a little bit stronger. But when you're leaving a location, a lot of people say prayers, a lot of people smudge. And I hate saying the term smudge because that's an indigenous term, or smoke cleanse is what you should be saying. But some people believe in that, that it helps and it relieves, attachment, or clarifies things, cleanses. But for me personally, I do perform cleansings in my vehicle, because obviously you're leaving a location, the first place you go is your vehicle. And spirits will hitch rides. I kid you not, they will hitch a ride. And dare I say I have proof of that, because the time Fluff was at the cemetery in San Diego, El Camposanto, I was in the car and I had ghost tube running, and all of a sudden it starts saying, like, why are you here? And I'm like, hello? And then it's like, am I dead? And I was like, oh boy, I got somebody in the car with me. Like, it opened my eye because I was literally steps away from the cemetery. And obviously in that area, on even where my car was parked, there was like people buried under there. So, spirits can wander into vehicles. So, if you're going to cleanse your car too.
Yeah.
But also, like, one of the things I do, I just take a shower when I get home. And I tell my spirits, like, I am cleansing. I am relieving myself from attachment. Not everybody believes in this practice, but I do. And it has worked for me throughout the 20 some odd years I've been doing this. I literally, and even the reason I learned it was from people that practice higher magic. They cleanse themselves before performing rituals, and they also cleanse themselves after, like by taking showers. And they're like, the water, if you envision everything going down the drain, getting away from you, you're telling without speaking that something cannot stay with you. It is to leave. It is to go. So sometimes our voice will say, like, you are not allowed to attach to me. And the spirit's like, you're already afraid that I will. You invited me. And they will do things. Like, if you have enough of a malevolent spirit, they will sit there and say, do you really think your words matter if you don't believe it? You have to believe. You have to believe it so strongly that you almost don't even have to say it for it to occur. So, that's what I do suggest, is before anybody gets involved with like hardcore investigating and going to locations, you need to have yourself as straight as possible with your faith and things like that, or your ability to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
Whether that's faith or spiritually.
Yeah, a new thing I've come to learn recently is meditation is really good for you as well. It helps ground yourself.
Even before an investigation too, because it can open you up to what you might be coming up against. I've had meditations where I saw things like deja vu almost. So
I get that all the time.
Right? Yeah. So it can be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing too, because it can be scary.
Yes.
As a paranormal virgin or inexperienced investigator, I always say go with somebody for safety, because you never know who's at the location.
If you're new at it.
If you never know, like, you never know who's going to be there. People, if they see you with flashlights in a building or anything like that. Now, granted, this is if you go on site. If you're in your own home doing stuff, I mean, this is a little different. But high spectral, if you're going to a location, it's best to have somebody with you for the sake of, if somebody messes with you, safety in numbers. But also just to have that extra set of eyes as to what saw occur. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it, they saw it,
Yeah.
Bit just to help in the investigation, but also for safety if you get hurt. Yeah, exactly.
That's the main thing. Like, you can go and do these paranormal investigations by yourself, but where are you going to go and do these? Like, especially if you're going to go to an abandoned property, or even if you're in a forest or a cemetery or anywhere dark late at night, you should never go, no matter how brave you are, or like how knowledgeable you are, or how long you've been doing paranormal for. You should always go with someone. If you can't go with someone, at least tell people where you are and what time you're going to be back, roughly.
I do that with like Shani and PLE. Like, we'll sit there and be like, we're going investigating and we're going into this building, and we'll let you know when we leave. And if they don't hear from us, then they'll be like, hey, can you check with them before we go to bed? Like, I want to see if they'll even message back, if they're safe. And we'll just be like, we're still here, but nothing bad's happened. We seem pretty safe. We kind of have our like protocols.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, I'm going into this area that is a little sketch or a lot sketch. You're going to want to like share your location with somebody or anything like that, to, even on your phones. If you have a friend with like, we all have iPhones, so we can share our locations as we're traveling. And stuff like that. So they know where we're at and if we made it home, stuff like that, no big deal. But it's a peace of mind that if I do get stuck at a location, I do fall from a building or something like that, obviously my phone's going to have me locked at that location, and they're going to be like, I know that they're there, and I know that they shouldn't still be there, 12, 15 hours later, they can send police, or help of some sort. And especially if we're not answering. But there's always there's the brave way to do stuff, because I know there's some people that are like, I want to be savage and just do it and test the waters.
I was one of those people. I was one of those people. But you kind of learn your lesson as you go along.
You learn the idea of like, I came close to a safety oopsie, and if it had happened that way, it could have been really bad. Right. So then you start going like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like sending a text to your parents, your friend, whoever you trust to send help for you or anything like that, and if somebody's closer, even better. But in this day and age where we have cell phones, and stuff like that can show our locations. We're states away. We're like across the country from each other. But I would still share my location with them if I needed to,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very important is to either go with someone or let people know where you are and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Pizza Demon, I'm a funeral director, so we're in the same business. I work with the dead every day. Spectral.
Matt says I brought Shani and PLE a spot GPS locator device. We'll get it when we meet. What's that?
It's like a little device. He was telling us about it. It's a device you put it like in your pack or whatever, and it like sends out the location to certain devices, other people's devices. Like it'll ping it every so often, so it doesn't have to be on your phone. Like you don't have to use your phone for sending out the GPS signal, but this thing automatically does it, and it can do it for, and he can better explain it than I can, but it sends it to certain devices, and you can program it for like the police and stuff like that. So if it has you locked in a location for too long, like 24 hours or whatever, it knows to send help. There is a lot of equipment out there that is survivalist based. And I'm learning more and more about that, helping Matt on with Survival and Tea, which you can find me on as well. And we talk about all kinds of stuff from like, things that should be in your pack for survival, in the terms of like, natural disaster, et cetera, but also the stuff carries over to us as investigators, urbexers, or anything like that, the stuff that we should be carrying in terms of safety. And if we do get hurt, if we do get stranded somewhere, like our car, doesn't want to start, it's raining, things like that, what can we do to keep shelter and warm until we can get some help and things like that. It's all, you never know that you need it until you're in the situation that you need it. So I'm always like, when we were in North Carolina, everybody was like, I had like Tupperware totes of stuff in the back of my van that I'm like, bust that open, you're going to find food, you're going to find equipment, extra batteries, blankets, things like that.
I saw the boxes, like it was just jam-packed.
First aid kits, but like super duper first aid kits. Like I had stitch kits in there. I had, tourniquets. I had stuff that could create a temporary cast, all kinds of stuff. And granted, we were like, there was hospitals nearby. Like we weren't in, the boonies or anything, but in the case of like, let's say PLE fell from a second story building, and he's got a compound fracture, his bone's sticking out, I can treat that until the ambulance gets there, and things like that. And having first aid knowledge helps a lot too. But those things, they cross paths, and they're good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I am a very spiritual person. Crystals, candles, prayers, metals. Virgin to investigating. As a firefighter, a pic of me walking out, so fire on my gear. I dance with evil. Ooh. I thought you meant virgin, like, that virgin. That shows where my mind goes.
Yeah, that's where my mind goes, because that's why, like I was saying, like
she's
like with being a bit, like, it doesn't matter. Like you could be a virgin for the rest of your life. Who says that you can't be? Like, it really doesn't matter. But when it comes to the paranormal, if you are a virgin, I think you're still innocent in your life, so they like spirits can attach more and it can become more heightened. That's why they go after children, and
that's true.
And
so we're over here being like, we're over here thinking paranormally, but virgin to investigating, like that, just same goes without saying, you know, just make sure you know what it is you're getting into in the sense of safety more than it is like evidence or anything like that. Because what I can tell you, prepare for this, and none of that's going to happen, you know, as far as evidence or spiritual communication is concerned. But the big thing is be respectful. Always be respectful in the communication, and know that, like, especially if you're going into older buildings, like we're talking like early 1900s, 1800s, things like that, where those spirits may not understand what you're doing or why you're doing it or why you have this fancy equipment or anything like that. You know, you're scary to them. You know, you're scary to them as much as they're scary to you. So if you have that respect of, like, you know, and walk them through it. Don't just say like, make my K2 light up, because they're like, what the fuck's a K2?
Yeah.
You know?
Why are you being aggressive towards
it? Why are you telling me what to do? You know, who are you? Like, who are you to tell me this stuff? Like, you just walk in and basically say, my name is whatever you would like them to refer to you as. Maybe your name, maybe your nickname, whatever. And just let them know why you're there. You mean no harm. And if they wish to communicate, like, let it be the option, because I wouldn't want to be forced to talk to somebody that I didn't know, you know, and they don't know you. So going in there and just having that respect. You may not, some people like to force things. I've seen some really aggressive investigators that really like, do this. Shani and her neighborhood. It's the dinosaurs.
It's my motorbike friend. He comes by every day. God.
It's the T-Rex outside. But yeah, if you know, if you have that mutual respect, you may not catch something right away, but the aggressive paranormal investigators, they still don't catch stuff right away. But I think you're more prone to some attachment or a ghost messing with you if you're mean to them. So yeah, those are things to kind of consider. Yeah, but just go in there with no expectations. Don't expect evidence. Don't expect to not get evidence. Just go in there with that understanding.
Know what you're thinking as well.
They know your intent.
Remember, they know everything about you, your past, present, and future. That's one thing that we forget as well. So, like, a lot of the time, because I watch these girls called meta psychics. They are amazing, and they sit there, and half the time, like, they've watched videos on Sam and Colby and all these people that do paranormal stuff, and they're sat there pissing themselves laughing. They're going, oh, that spirit, oh, you're like, so you've got like Sam and Colby going, what's your name, where are you? And they're laughing, going, oh, the spirit is saying, oh, I'm in the corner, but I'm not talking to you. Like, and the spirits mess around and they give you fake answers because the spirits think it's funny that we're coming in trying to communicate. Like, meta psychics, guys, if you haven't seen these two girls, go and watch them. They're awesome. Amazing. And it really makes you think, as an investigator, it makes you think a lot more about what to do and stuff like that. So yeah, they're really cool. Go and watch them. So I think this question's for you. Have you had any experiences within your duties?
A few. My very first experience was when I worked for the medical examiner. Now, the difference between funeral home, medical examiner, a medical examiner performs your autopsies. Okay, so when you first die, there's parameters for whether or not you go to the medical examiner or whether or not you go to the funeral home directly. So if you died accidentally, if you're under a specific age, and it varies per state and region and all that, and if you were not under doctor's care, okay, at the time of death, so you weren't in a hospital, things like that, you will go to what is called a medical examiner. They will perform what is called an autopsy, where they perform a Y incision. They check things. I won't get too graphic. But they want to determine time of death, okay? They want to determine cause of death. They want to determine what led to you no longer having life, all right? So if you fell, they want to determine, like, you know, was it the fall, or was it this, or did your heart stop and that's why you fell and hit your head? or was it you falling and hitting your head that actually caused you to die? So when we go onto a location and we see a person, you know, clearly with a contusion to the head or anything like that, we think, oh, they fell and that's what killed them, but they could have had a heart attack and caused them to fall and that's what killed them. So they perform the autopsies to rule out cause of death. So when I was working there, I was an autopsy assistant, and I was also responsible for picking up bodies from sites, you know, so somebody, you know, was killed and they were coming to us. I would go to like automobile accident sites, murder sites, things like that. And I would go and I'd pick the bodies up, we'd bring them in, we'd wash them, get them prepped for autopsy. So one night I was coming back from picking up a decedent at a location, and then I was checking them in. I was filling out their paperwork, checking them into cold storage, and I went to go get a cup of coffee. It was time for me to have a 15-minute break. I had been on shift nonstop for about 12 hours, and I was walking down our main hallway. And our main hallway at night had those lights that are motion detected. So as you're walking, it's like the overlight lights turn on. And as I'm walking, I see a gentleman leaning up against a wall, one leg, you know, kicked up under it, and he's looking down, kind of like what you would do if you were looking at your phone. But I didn't see the light of the phone. I just see this person with like their head down and kind of with their foot up against the wall type thing. And I was like, oh, this is somebody that probably came here because, you know, they, you know, their loved one passed and they're confused about where they're supposed to be. So I was just like, hello, excuse me, can I help you? And I kept walking. And this person didn't turn to look at me, and I know they heard me. They had to have. And I was just like, oh, you know, maybe they're grieving. You know, that happens a lot where they might hear you, but they're just zoned out. So I'm walking up. This is a dead end hallway. It's just doors leading to offices and stuff like that. And at the end of the hall, there's nothing. It's a literal just hallway to nowhere. So there's nowhere for this person to go besides one of the offices, which are all locked. The only thing open was to the right of me, which was our break room. And I had already passed that trying to get to this person. And I'm walking up and I'm realizing like this person's not responding to me. And I'm like, do I keep walking? Like, you know, what if this person's got like a knife on them? You know, it's just me in the hallway. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, between 3 and 4 a.m. And I was like, you know, I'm pretty brave, but I'm like, you know, it's just probably somebody grieving. Like I was psyching myself out of it. And I walk up and I keep walking, and I'm about maybe 10 or 15 feet away, and this person walks through the wall. Like literally just looks, like turned their head towards me and then started walking and just kept walking straight. And the only thing there was a wall.
Wow.
Nothing else, not a door, not anything. There was no little alcove. They couldn't hide anywhere. It was just, and I was like, holy biscuits. So I do an about face and go into the break room thinking like, what did I just see? All right. And I'm sitting down and I got my cup of coffee that's like half full because I didn't even have like the nerve to pour a full cup. I was like, what did I just see? What did I just see? And that kept playing, that question's playing in my head.
Yeah.
My boss comes in, and because I was supposed to bring him back a cup of coffee, he's like, what did you get lost? And I'm sitting there and I'm like white, you know, because you're like, the blood rushes from you. You're like, holy heck, did I just have the Holy Grail experience? And I just looked up at him and he was like, you okay? And I was like, at the end, and all I could say was at the end of the hall. And he was like, oh, you saw Tom. And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, did he walk into the wall? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that's Tom. Like, well, that's what we call him. And I was like, is his name really Tom? And they're like, we don't know. Like, people have seen him. And he just hangs out in that corner. And what they think it was is somebody that passed away and he doesn't know where to go. And so he just kind of wanders that facility. So that was the real first time, I can't say that's my first full body apparition, because my first full body apparition, I saw at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and I didn't realize that's what it was. But that's the first time I consciously saw one that I could not explain, could not debunk. And I mean, they weren't translucent or transparent. That was an opaque figure, like an actual figure. So the only time it like kind of gave me that translucent-y, like, oh my gosh feel was like as it was approaching the wall. But it's really hard to describe. It's not like something I saw in movies, how it looks or anything like that. It was so different. And then in the funeral home industry, I always hear little voices here and there, and I can't tell if it's me or not because I am partially deaf in one ear, and so I always have to turn up my volume on my phone when I'm listening to music pretty loud. And when I'm doing embalmings or anything, I always have my earbuds in, whether I'm listening to YouTube, whether I'm listening to music or whatever. So when I pull them out, like my ears are a little more sensitive, right? And so when I catch things like hi, and they're always breathy, I'm always like, is that like just the sensitivity of my ear, or am I really hearing something? But there was a time in a particular funeral home that I worked for. It used to be a bank, and they converted it into a funeral home. And we had a decedent come in. And this decedent was a self-inflicted death. We'll go with that. Yeah. And they had what technical term bilateral incisions of the wrist. So they were right. And they had also shot themselves. So the wrist thing didn't work. So they ended their life that way. And this person must, how much pain you must be in to go to that length of like, I'm going to end things. Like most people would have done.
That's the hardest thing to do in the world is to take your own life.
And I mean, to go and I mean, they weren't small cuts, right? Like I repaired him, but I was like, you were in some pain to be like, this is taking too long and further end yourself. And like, it was just a heaviness as soon as that person was brought into our care. Yeah. And I was just like, it felt weird in the funeral home, after that. And it's a relatively small funeral home too. So where the offices were, where my office was, the other wall was our cold storage where we kept them. And so I always felt a little, you always feel uneased. But this one day I felt incredibly uneased. And I was by myself. There was nobody else there because my boss at the time decided she needed to go shopping for water and stuff for the funeral home. She was gone for like 4 hours. Pissed me off. But I was sitting there typing. And have you ever had this feeling of don't turn? Like you're sitting there doing something and you're like, you're so like anxious and scared, dare I say. And a part of you is like, if I turn, I'm going to see something I don't want to see.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. And I was like, and I had glasses on. I wear corrective lenses. And in the corner of my glasses, like in my, I'm looking in the reflection of it because they kind of extended a little bit past my eye. I kid you not, I saw a shape of like if somebody was behind you. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh dear God, please don't let there be something behind me, please. And because I had to get this damn report done, and I was like, please don't let something scare me. And then I was just like, I remember saying to myself, like, if you're like, I said it out loud, I was like, if you're behind me, please go away. And like after that, like I didn't change my feeling or anything, but I didn't notice that little weird image in my glasses. And I just felt like the whole time that decedent was there, just this complete uneased feeling. Once they had their funeral and everything, they were taken care of. They were interred how they were going to be interred. I didn't feel that anymore. So you do have sensations sometimes. And some people are like, oh, well, why would funeral homes be haunted? Why would cemeteries be haunted? That's not where that person's spirit would want to be. If you research into like, occultist practices and theories, they do believe that if a spirit doesn't accept death, when they pass, and a lot of them believe that there is something called second death, where there's the moment of physical death, and then there's the death of they're leaving the existence of our plane. And what they believe that is when people resist second death, they can literally be landlocked. And they'll follow their body and things like that. And those ones are more of your energetic vampires because they will drain your video cameras. They'll make you feel drained and stuff like that because they no longer have their physical body to gain life force from. So they go after other things. So there's a lot that go into the paranormal research wise. It's
and
crazy.
There's still so much that I don't know. See, I learn a lot by listening to you. I've definitely learned a lot from you, like for sure. Because I thought I knew a good amount, but I really didn't at all.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't learn a lot until I just experienced stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tanya says, if you go into anything metaphysical with a closed mind, you're going to miss anything networthy because your mind will write it off as something else.
Oh
That's
yeah,
very
I
true.
agree with that. I agree with that because it's safe. Your mind is always seeking safety and security in things that it knows and it can prove and disprove. Your mind automatically does that. That's why we have so many skeptics. Because if I believe it and I lend to this idea, then guess what else I have to lend to? You know, guess what else I have to open my mind to, and people refuse and cut it off. It's just like when Shani was in Mexico, I sat there like with my phone by my bed the whole time, like loud, you know, even at night sometimes I put it on do not disturb. But it was one of the only phones, like phone numbers that could reach to me when it was on do not disturb, because I was like, I know what can go on in Mexico. I was raised there for a while. And I'm like, I have my fears that I wasn't trying to put on her, but I know from my experiences there, and it creates a sense of uncertainty and unsafety and things like that, and our mind always tries to grasp for safety. So I had to like calm myself and be like, she's fine, she's messaging me, she's fine. But you know, when you go into uncharted areas, you have to be like stripped of your ideas of what is consistent and safe and secure in your life. And so when you don't have that, guess what? You have anxieties, you have like, you know, all kinds of things that you don't want. And that exists, you know, like I said, in the physical sense, like with her being in another country, and then like with the whole like paranormal, we have to lend it to much more bigger things if we accept ghosts, you know, like if we accept that as a reality. Guess what else we have to accept, you know, is that we have to accept poltergeist activity. We have to accept, you know, that, you know, ghosts can attach, you know, it strips us of feeling safe, you know, and that's the big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like everyone's totally agreeing as well. Just reading through. I'm really late on these comments. Sorry, guys. I'm like really getting.
I know we're sitting here talking. We love you guys. Like talk amongst yourselves.
I did just see something here. I forgot who just said it. Someone was just saying that they're looking into buying 100-year here. Spectral researchers said that they have their eyes on 100-year-old funeral home which is up for sale. Oh, okay.
I would do it.
Is that something you would do?
I would do it. I would do it. And that, like when people like, should I buy this hearse? Like they'll, you know, or we call them funeral coaches. We stopped calling them hearses because people are like, that's creep. We call it, like if you hear somebody say funeral coach, it's a hearse. That's what it means.
Right. Okay.
But and you'll see that at like newer cemeteries, it'll say like reserved for funeral coach. It's for the hearse. But we call them that because it sounds nicer, right?
Right. Yeah, it does.
And with like people asking, should I buy this hearse? And it's like, well, you know what? They're a great car to have. You know how much groceries you can put in the back of one of those?
Right.
You know,
and if you've got nowhere to sleep, just get on in the back. You'll be fine.
Dude, you put an air mattress back there, you are comfortable. And they usually don't have that many miles. And the miles they do have on them, they've driven them like 20 miles to get to the nearest cemetery or whatever at most. Right. So they're, you know, it's a good working car. They drive so smooth. I love my funeral coach. But it's, you know, they're a great car. And I'm always like, dude, yeah, get it. If anything, like, you know, like I said, if you need to move furniture, you need to like go on a camping trip, you can sleep in there and have all your stuff in there, you know. But some people are like, oh my gosh, dead bodies, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Dead bodies are transported by mail trucks because we can mail cremated remains. So technically dead bodies have been transported by your your cars and ambulances, things like that, you know.
Yeah.
If you think about it in that macabre sense, you'll psych yourself out of almost anything. But if you think about it in the sense of like, I'm purchasing a car, you know, then go for it. But with the sense of like a funeral home, like there can be some crazy energy there. But it really depends on what you want to do with it. Like, if I could purchase an old funeral home, I'd probably set it up for special events. You know, I would set it up for weddings or funerals or anything. And, you know, and I'd open it up to paranormal investigations in the off season. I really would. I would, you know, I'd have good insurance and things like that. I'd even maybe make an area, because some funeral homes have like the old apartments attached to them because the caretakers or funeral directors used to live on property. And I did live in a funeral home for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And in the basement, nonetheless, in a 120-year-old funeral home. And it had like such a dated basement with like green shag carpet. It was horrible.
Wow.
But I mean, I had to, because at the time I was going through my divorce, and my daughter lived in there with me and everything. So, did you hear stuff? Did it feel weird? A little bit. But I basically had said that, you know, I'd probably turn that apartment into like a, you know, like an Airbnb thing, like, you know, where you could, if you wanted to stay, you could stay, but you would stay in there and you'd have access to certain components and things. I wouldn't use it probably as an active funeral home with body prep and stuff like that. I would keep, if I, you know, in my opinion, the funeral home that I do have, I don't allow investigations at. Fluff can't even investigate there or anything like that, because preservation of privacy, preservation of just allowing people to know that death care is respected. And I don't cross those lines, and I never will. So that one I keep sacred. And I tell them, like, you know, if we came into one that's non-operational, then I would definitely allow for those things. And I would even, you know, make it to where people could experience it. You know, if you want to throw a cool Halloween party, go for it. I got this 100-year-old funeral home. And I would do that. I would have it for events and stuff like that. That's what I would do with that space, really, me personally.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so Parasolo says, I'll be building my own vortex box soon. That's awesome. Straight from scratch. If it's successful, I'll be making several of them. It deals with magnets. That's really cool. Like, I love those whole wonder boxes and stuff. If anyone's seen Paranormal, I think he was one of the first people to make the wonder box, spirit box type thing.
He has miracle box, but his is pre-programmed stuff, and he admits that, like, he pre-programs the voices in it and stuff. But the vortex boxes are kind of like subjective to whatever's out there that wants to come through, versus like pre-programmed voices and stuff. But yeah, Huff, I think it's Huff, and what's that other one that does it? There's one more channel there's
another guy who's very similar to Huff Paranormal.
Fluff would know. Who's Coat.
Something Coat.
I don't watch I know of Huff, but I don't watch the other one because, like I said, I think sometimes they cross the lines too much with you know, like even with Huff, like somebody could be dead 12 hours. He's already got a video talking to him up.
Yeah,
but I mean, like that. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the technology, I think they were the first ones to really come forward with something like that. So I can respect that. I mean, I can respect that, the presentation of it. But I've seen Southern Afterlife he had the Echo Box, and now he's got a new one, and it's got like crystals and stuff. It's really cool. So if you haven't checked out Southern Afterlife on YouTube, he creates not so much, it's not a spirit box, it's like you hook your device to it, and it like helps you tune out stuff and things like that, so that your spirit box comes through more clear without the static components.
Oh wow.
It's really cool. Fluff had an Echo Box from him that he made, and they're well made. They are so cool. And we ended up giving it to the Ghosty Girls when they lost all of their equipment that one time, so that they would have extra stuff. But I mean, they can get a little pricey, but I think it's so cool. Like Jenny Love, her husband made her one too. I haven't seen her. It's been a minute since I've seen her use it, but he made her like one like that too. And I would be like, I'm so intrigued by the technology and time that people put into them when they make them. It's like somebody's always going a little bit, you know, more in this direction, and the other ones will go in this direction of the technology. And it's like, this is so cool that you guys are like conceptualizing these things and coming up with all that. I think it's awesome.
And I think another thing that people need to realize as well, which is something, again, that I've only just realized myself, is that all paranormal equipment, whether it's the necrophonic, a miracle box, a wonder box, anything you're using, it doesn't work for everyone. And then if it doesn't work for some people, they're like, well, it's fake. You're making it up. It's not that. It depends on, like, it's hard to explain.
And also the location. I mean, if a spirit is not interested in what you're using, and this goes from the basics to a voice recorder, to a new, like the paranormal puck even, if they're like not having it, they're not, and even if they can't even envision how to use it for communication, it's not going to work.
Absolutely. It's like the miracle box, again, by Huff Paranormal, plugging him a lot today. But the miracle box doesn't work for me. But for you guys, like you and Fluff, you've got some really good.
I haven't used that. I got the app when it came out because, like you do, right? We went to Tombstone right afterwards, and that's like where he proposed and all that. Yes, I got proposed to at a haunted town.
Best way
and he, like, oh my god, Fluff and his, like, he waited so long to actually, he had the ring for forever before he proposed, because he was like, I'm gonna do it here, I'm gonna do it here, I'm gonna do it here, and like our plans kept changing. So he's like, darn it, I can't do it there. And so it ended up being, we went to Tombstone, he proposed, and we stayed in a haunted, I mean, the whole town is haunted, but we stayed in a haunted, like, B&B. And like, I remember being in this room, and it, like, you can Google how haunted this room was, and I didn't Google it before because Fluff, like, he rented everything, he took care of it all. And like, as I'm in the room, I'm like, look at these reviews of what people are saying, oh my god, we're gonna die, the spirits are gonna carry us away at night. And that was the night I did hear something, and I remember waking Fluff up, like, or I woke him up with my response to what I heard. And I'll tell you that in a minute. But we used the miracle box in there, and I got some responses that were like pretty, like, because that one's hard to use. You have to ask the question and swipe and do all this stuff. And there's some people that have really good luck with it. To me, it's like, it was a little difficult to work. But the reason we even tried, I told Flip, was like, you're not doing any investigating here because you're gonna have spirits running around all night long, and I can't deal with that when I'm sleeping. So that night, I'm asleep, and I don't know what time it was when this happened. It was at night. Like, we were in one room, and my two oldest daughters were in the living room area sleeping on like the pull-out bed. And I thought I heard my daughter say, Mom, but like sternfully, like trying to get my attention, like she had been saying it more than once. And it was in this little hall that was connecting the door, the us to the living room, like, but I couldn't see her. So I thought she was just standing there, like maybe by the bathroom, and saying, Mom, like she needed something. And I sit up and I'm like, what? Because I hate when my kids say, Mom, tell me what they need.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, don't just say Mom, just be like, Mom, do you have this? You know, or whatever. I'm like, what? You know, because I waited a second, and then I was like, what? And Fluff sits up and he's like, what? Like, what's the matter? And I was like, oh, the freaking kids. And he's like, why are they awake? And I get up, my kids are dead asleep. And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, I'm going back to bed. I'm going back to bed. I'm going to put my head under the pillow. I'm going to hide under this blanket. You sleep next to the door. I don't sleep next to the door. And Fluff was laughing. And it's because I don't like activity when I'm sleeping. I'm like, you can do all your paranormal spooky spook all night long until it's bedtime. Then we're all going to sleep. You too.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, like that was the time we got responses. They weren't like, it wasn't like I kept having a straight conversation. It was like I got it to work, like something came through like maybe 2 or 3 times, but
yeah,
the ones that did come through were pretty good.
Yeah, that's really cool. So Lynn says, Shani, what app did you use in the tunnels, aka where you brought your family forward? Also, I love using the rods. Yes, I love using dowsing rods as well. So that was the Baltimore catacombs, I think you're talking about, and my grandfather come through. So the app I was using was the Ghost Tube SLS and just the normal Ghost Tube Spirit box
Mm-hmm.
app,
I
which
like that
you can
one.
all download on Play Store. But yeah, I do like using that. I like using the Necrophonic as well. But that's the one that I used in those tunnels. And I believe, or I'm starting to believe, that my great-grandfather is actually one of my spirit guides. I
think so too.
Yeah, I've been told by a few mediums and stuff, like they didn't know he was my grandfather, but I had one psychic medium draw a picture of an elderly gentleman in like an overcoat and like a this hat, like an old-fashioned gangster's hat, I guess, a trilby. I think that's what it's called, like a trilby.
Oh, fedora. A fedora, you mean?
Yes, like that. And she drew a picture of this man, and he stood there holding a cigarette in his hand. So, like, we're doing this investigation, like at this old place that I used to work, and she's like, this gentleman, he follows you everywhere. He's very kind, but everywhere you go, no matter in the world, he's there with you. And I remember I was having this terrible, like, back pains in my shoulders. It was recently after I'd broken my shoulder, so it was just, oh, it was a nightmare. And I couldn't shake this pain, obviously. And this medium, she looked behind me, but she was looking up here, and she just started grinning. I was like, what are you looking at? And I'm freaking out because at this point I'm terrified of the paranormal. Like, I didn't do anything paranormal, and I'm freaking out, trying to hold back the tears and stuff. And she was going, I'll let you know what's going on at the end. She's already drawn the picture of him, but she hasn't shown me. And she was like, right, just stop for a second. She said, and tell me what you feel. As she said that, I felt a pair of hands on my shoulder. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps already. I felt a pair of hands on my shoulders, and it was like this warm fuzzy just go from here, and it drained. But as this warm fuzzy was going all the way down to my feet, the pain disappeared. It was gone, and it was gone for good. It never came back.
Wow.
Yeah, it never come back. And she started laughing. I went, what was that? What happened? She went, the gentleman that follows you just took your pain away because he knew like how much it was affecting you.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this man? Is it God? Like, is he here? But
almost.
Almost. And then at the end of, because I found out that within this investigation, I found out that my little sister was also with me constantly, because I was constantly seeing a little girl poking her head in and laughing, giggling and running away. And I used to get annoyed because I thought it was a real child because I could see her. And I worked like on holiday resorts, so there was always children around and stuff like that. So I was like, who isn't keeping an eye on their kid? Because this is getting annoying. I'm trying to nap over here. Shani needs her nap time. And this little girl, my door would be open. This little girl would just poke in, grin, giggle, and run away. She's like 5, 6 years old. Found out it was my sister. Like, it was made. I mean, she passed away when she was born. But she's chose the age of 5, 6 years old, because apparently that's the most playful time for a child. But my granddad also, great granddad also hangs around. So this medium, she's like, right, okay, so here's the picture, and I have one photo of my great granddad. Now, he passed away when my nan, my mum's mum, was 2 years old. So he's been gone for a very long time. So I've never seen him, obviously. And she slid this picture across the table, and that was it. I was done for. I cried like a baby, because what she drew, the man in the hat and the coat holding his cigarette here with this look on his face, was the photo, the one and only photo we have of him. She doesn't know. I'm hundreds of miles away from home. I'm working. I'm on a holiday resort. She doesn't know me from Adam. I met the lady that night. And that was it for me. That was when I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. There is something else. And my granddad, ever since then, I know he's always around, because when something bad is about to happen, or there's a negative energy, like when I was at Suicide Bridge and the whole portal thing and all that.
He shows up.
My granddad showed up, but I'd cut that out because the week before was this one. Like we'd just been to the Baltimore tunnels and I cried and everything. And then the following week, the portal and everything like that. And he was coming through again, but I cut it out of the video because I didn't want to be like, oh, my granddad. And because it was pulling at my heartstrings enough.
Yeah.
So I'd already put it out there that he'd come through and I didn't want to continue to keep doing that.
Right.
So yeah, I believe that he's one of my guardian angels, because when something's about to go down, he shows up
and he makes himself known.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because we've talked about that, and I'm like, no, they do. Like, I mean, my dad, after he passed, like when we were in North Carolina, like we went to that abandoned restaurant, and my dad's name is on the wall, like his first name. And remember, I like pointed that out. I was like I don't know if I said it because we were recording, but I was pointing to the wall and I was like, that's my dad's name. And so it was like, to me, it was like, you know, my dad letting me know that he was like overseeing us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even though like the end of the trip, you know, we got sick, but well, I did. It was, you know, he just let me know that things would be okay. And he does that all the time. Like if I go on an investigation or anything like that, or in my travels, like I'll hear a song come on the radio and stuff like that, and that I would listen to with him. Like, you know, that you're not going to just, it's not just going to be that, you know, he listened to old school music. So those just don't come on the radio at random unless you're looking for them.
Yeah.
So I'll hear things like that and be like, oh, that's my dad, you know, but I was my dad's favorite, just saying. So I know my dad looks out for me. Cassie, hi sis.
Hello.
Welcome to coffee time.
It's not
coffee.
Positivity time is positive coffee time.
Positive coffee.
Positive coffee.
We've been talking about the paranormal. Figure that.
But no, a lot of people are saying in the comments that they have family members that show up, and I think they are our number one protectors on the other side. Like, well,
did I ever tell you about the car accident that I was in when I was 18?
No.
Okay, I don't think I've brought this one up. Fluff knows about it. When I was 18 years old, and before I was smart enough to know that you shouldn't be driving your car recklessly, I got into a really bad car accident. I rolled my car 6 times.
Oh gosh.
And the door frame for where you know your window is on your car.
Yeah.
Okay, the car was upside down and that door frame was hitting me right here, pressing on my neck, like I couldn't move. I was a few inches from having my neck completely broken, completely crushed. I was inches away from dying. I had a huge bump on my head. I had like 16 contusions to my head, broke my collarbone, things like that. But I was able to, once they were able to lift the car off of me, I stood up. Like I got up and stood up, and everybody was like, don't move. Like, cause they were like, oh my gosh, this girl's probably injured. There's no way, she's injured somewhere. And other than the small break on my clavicle, my collarbone, the contusions, which are just bruises. I didn't even really have a strong concussion. It was a miracle how I survived it because my seatbelt unlocked when I was flipping.
Wow.
And so I final destination, right? Like I totally, like, I should have been dead, right?
Yeah.
Because I did knock out for a few seconds. I had to, because I remember opening my eyes and seeing the full moon. One of the reasons why I have a connection with the moon so much, or I'm fascinated by it. It was a full moon, and you could see it. It was like glowing, and that was the first thing I saw was this huge ass moon. And hearing my grandpa say, "Don't move," and my grandpa was like, I was really close to him, and he was just saying, "Don't move." And then a few minutes later, a car came up behind and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was crying because I was scared, you know, oh my God, I wrecked my car, you know. And yeah, like I went to the hospital, they checked me out, they released me that night. And then the next day I went to the where they take like the junker cars, because clearly it was totaled. And I saw the car and I was like, how the hell did I survive that? And everybody said the same thing, because the guy that owned the yard was like, she's the one that was in there. So I was like, I'm the driver. And he was like, how are you walking? Like, he looked me up and down and was like how? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, what did you do to, like, I overcorrected. I slid on some gravel and I overcorrected. And I was like 18 years old. So, you know, you think you know about cars when you're 18 and you don't. You don't realize the force behind cars. And that's why, like, when I drive, like, Fluff can be like slowly swerving, like just, you know, on accident. And I'll just like jolt because I'm like, hey, pay attention to the road, you know? And he's always like, oh, you know, he doesn't like it when you have a backseat driver. But as somebody who's been in a horrible accident, we innately sit there and like watch the driver, right? You know, anybody who's been in one will sit there and like keep their eye on the driver. And I look at him and like, I don't mean to make you nervous, but you know, like, I've been in a bad accident and I don't plan on being in one because I don't think I'll survive the next one. I survived the first one. And so, yeah, I had like that really like bad accident and I heard my grandfather's voice and it could have been because I hit my head, you know, but I don't think so. So I do think that they watch us in like, honestly, it wasn't my time to go then. And so I always tell people like, that's when I had my abilities to learn how to read tarot. I started reading tarot. Like I had never picked up a book on it ever. And I could read like the next week, somebody handed me a pack of tarot cards and I could read them like I had known them my whole life.
Wow.
That's when I learned, or that's how I learned, was having my head knocked around.
Yeah.
Interesting story, right?
You're one of the best bloody tarot readers out there. You give it something.
I have my own flow.
What anyone says, I love the way you read your tarots. You are straight to the point. You tell it how it is. Like, you say what you use the words you want to use. And if anyone's offended or upset by that, go and watch somebody else. But it's spot on. You read your tarots, like, so I'm Scorpio. So you'll read Scorpio for hundreds of people. That tarot that you're doing at that point is for hundreds of people. It might not work for some people, but it could be a message for someone else. But I'm telling, every single time you read mine, I'm like, she is talking to me, just me, because everything you say is spot on. I don't know how you bloody do it, but you do it, and it's amazing. Like,
and the thing is, it's being no nonsense. Like, I could sit there, and there are tarot readers that, and this is not me like saying one's better than the other or anything like that, but there are some tarot readers that read differently. It's more calm. It's more, but they're still doing the same thing.
That gentle approach.
Yeah, it's the same. It's still the same thing. Just the approach is a little more gentle. I can do that, but it always sounds superficial when I do it. It always sounds fake when I'm doing it. Like, because people even say like, is that really what you want to say to me? And I'm like, actually, no, what I want to tell you is if you keep doing this shit, bad shit's gonna happen, you know? Right. So I just stopped being superficial. I stopped like wearing the mask of, you know, you gotta be nice, you gotta be nice. I'm like, I am being nice, but I'm being very forward with you. And I'm telling you, like, you don't have to take it. And I tell people, don't listen to a freaking word I say.
Yeah.
You know, but what always happens is they come back and go, yeah, you did nail that, even though I didn't want to hear it at the time. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to anybody. But if you want, my big thing is I am the type of reader that if you have a personal reading with me, I tell you, I don't want you to ever need another reading again. I don't want your return business. I don't want you coming back to me. And they're like, what? Like, isn't that what you do? Isn't that what readers do? They make their money this way. Yeah. And I'm like, some do. Some do. Some pride themselves on people having their return rate and everything. And I'm like, no, I want to teach you to be so good with your life, teach you how to obtain your goals so well that you just repeat the process and things just happen better for you. And I'm like, I'm going to clear out some old trauma. We're going to work through this. And that's why I also do life coaching, because I'm like, let's just get through this. You don't need readings, but some people like assume that's what they need. And I use the cards as visual aids more than I do anything else. But I tell people like, no, there can be better. And I'm going to tell you how to get better. And, you know, you can either listen to me and take my advice and go with it, or not, and keep going on your merry little way. Yeah. But some people are like, you know, I wish I had listened. And I said, yeah, you know what? I'm not for everybody. Like the Queen of Swords energy comes out in me a lot when I read because I have a sharp tongue. And the reason I have that sharp tongue is because you never know. And the reason why I have that is because I had to deal with people that wouldn't tell me the full truth, wouldn't tell me what I needed to hear. They told me what I wanted to hear most of my life, right? Isn't that usually what happens? And guess what my stupid ass does? I keep making the same mistake because it's like, no, they told me it could get better if I keep. No, it's like, dude, leave it alone. It's a dead dog. Let it lay. And if I had had somebody that just spoke to me real life terms, like gave me the rawness of something, I probably wouldn't have made as many mistakes over and over again. And so I am like, I might not be the reader for you. My message might be, but it might not be the best coming from me. There's thousands of readers out there. And I have no problem suggesting people to a new reader, you know, or ones that I trust, because there's a lot of them and they're really good.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree. And speaking of like tarot readers and, well, just reading cards, our Cassie that's in as well. If you haven't watched her, go
check really
her
good.
out. Oracles and Beyond. Yeah,
she's really good.
Yes.
And I will be doing stuff with Cassie coming up in the next few weeks. Going into October, we got some spooky readings too. I just got my trick or treat tarot. Where is it? Fluff moved it somewhere. Babe, where'd you move my new deck? Oh no, he didn't. I did.
Oh my gosh, some of the decks that you've got though are just amazing. I really love the Disney decks. Like you've got the.
Oh, did you see the Hocus Pocus one? Oh my god, I'm so lazy. I'm not lazy, but I feel like it sometimes because I probably have like 25 freaking decks that I have to review, and guess how many I've done? None, because I've been too freaking busy. But they're all stacked over here. Like, I have decks from like independent people that are like, if I send you my deck, will you review it? And I'm like, yeah, sometime soon. Yeah, Hocus Pocus Tarot. Hocus Pocus Tarot. I'm gonna be reviewing this one probably this week. There'll be a video up for it because, I wanted to use this in the September readings because the movie's coming out. Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out this month.
So excited.
We have to do a watch party.
Oh my!
Like a private one. Oh, when the new Halloween movie comes out, we're going to do a private watch party and we're going to watch it, like all of us on Peacock.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to watch it together. We did that with yeah, we did that with Nubs last year. Like, you want to watch the new Halloween movie? Because it was like that movie was like intense. So he watched it like 4 times because I was like, here, just log into my Peacock and, you know, but then we were like, let's watch it together. And so I'm like, when the new one comes out, we're going to have to do like a watch party and like watch the new one and be like, ooh, together. But I got this bad boy. The Trick or Treat Tarot. And look how huge this box is. It's like the size of my head.
That's what I was just looking at. That box is huge.
But they give you like a book, the companion, and that's why the box is so huge.
Oh, I was gonna say you're gonna be like trying to hold the cards and shuffling them like
I know, right? I'm not gonna be able to do that with my tiny hands. Where are my tiny hands? I bought the tiny hands so I could read. I have so many plans. I have so many plans and I'm so bad that I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing this and I haven't done it yet. Okay. You'll have to forgive your tarot. Like, she is just, there are times where life gets the best of all of us. And there's times when we experience just setbacks. As a content creator, like, we have ambition for so much and then all of a sudden life hits us or PMS hits us or anything. And we're like, I ain't doing shit this week.
Right.
Or just the editing, like, we have to be in a vibe to edit. Like, I kid you not, to create some of those edits and those, you know, it might seem like a 15-20 minute piece, but to edit that can take like 2 days, like sitting in front of a computer, because then we have to like do the psychology of it and build it up and create the intro and then add in the sounds, and then you have to find the right sounds, and sometimes you're like, that didn't sound great, or that didn't work great, and sometimes we settle and we're like, I just got to get this out there. And it's like, you sit there and you're like, I hope everyone likes it. And then like you sit back there and go, I could have done this different, and next time, blah blah. Like we're constant. It's never ending. It doesn't end. Like how I managed to have a daytime job and be a mom and everything else and edit videos and make thumbnails is like beyond me.
I don't know how you do it. I've literally got all the time in the world, but then when I'm trying to do just the things that I'm trying to do without having a family and stuff like that,
it's on the shelf. He's asking about the Tricker Tarot.
I forgot I had him up there then.
It's the Tricker Tarot. That deck cost $100. It is $100 Halloween deck. And all I mentioned to Fluff was like, I've been meaning to buy this one for a couple years. I just won't bite the bullet because I'm a snob to myself and I won't buy myself things that are expensive like that. You know, $100 steak dinner, let's go. A tarot deck, like, oh no, I'll wait. And so he bought it for me for this year. So look forward to that. $100 deck. Who sells deck piece of paper for $100? Fancy paper, but paper nonetheless.
Oh, I tell you, the cutest one you've got is the one that the little boy made with the drawing.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah, the Maxwell Rainbow Tarot. Oh my gosh, still my heart.
God. I know, that was
that's so sweet.
Like, how old was that little boy?
6 years old. I think 6 or 8, something like that, but young.
Yeah,
I want to say he's like 6. Oh my gosh, like, and on the Kickstarter, like there's videos of him drawing the thing. Oh, so sweet. So sweet. Like and like to fund it was only like $20. Like that deck was so cheap on Kickstarter. And then the mailing was included, postage was included in it and everything. So it was just like, heck yeah, for 20 some bucks, I'm gonna support a kid's dream. Are you kidding me? Like, and it's one of my favorite decks. Like it's smaller, you know me with my tiny decks. And it's like, because it's so juvenile of the art, he just focused on the realism. He focused on the key points, you know, and drew those out instead of all this other stuff with it and things that are almost superfluous, that would draw your attention away from the key point. And I get that that's what the tarot is supposed to do. It's supposed to like open you to like the vastness of the card.
Yeah.
But he focused on like the key point, and it was like, it just made it so much easier, like to read, you know, like you could read it quickly. Yeah. So I love it. It's so sweet. It's like the sweetest deck.
Such a cute deck. Yeah, no, I love that one.
Fluff just likes the rebel decks because they talk shit. That's my rebel decks that like to sit there and tell people to like go off the deep end, apparently. I love them too because they're fun. I mean, who doesn't want to sit there and have fun, you know, and be a little vulgar at times? But absolutely. You know, because life sometimes brings that out on you. You know, you just want to sit there and just blah, you know, just have a ball and be an adult and talk shit, apparently. But I mean, and that's what it does, you know, and it knocks you off your high horse a little bit. So that's why I love it. But you have an oracle deck that I bought you.
I do.
So pretty. It's the Victorian one, right?
I'm actually gonna grab it. It's just there. Because
it's pretty. I love that one.
It just suits me, like the whole style, the pictures, and I'm sure everyone that's here now will agree. It's like French chic, but you look at it and go, that's very British. Like that's Shannon right there. So I'll grab it. I have a couple of decks building up. I feel very lucky. Do need to learn them for sure, which is one thing I will be settling down to do eventually. So here it is. There's this one. It's the wisdom deck. Vintage wisdom oracles.
The art is so pretty on that deck. Oh my gosh, I love that deck.
I
remember telling you, like, I'm gonna get you an oracle deck for you to practice with, and I was like, but which one? And then I was like, she needs this one.
It just as soon as I saw it, I was like, there is no other deck like that. That is the one. It comes with the cutest book as well. So obviously, like, as we know, it helps you along. But these cards, okay, so this is the back of the cards.
So Victorian. They're just so Victorian, so pretty.
And then, oh my gosh, the artwork. on these, they're beautiful. See what I mean by like there we are. Like, just look at these
old vintage art. Mm-hmm.
They're just so beautiful.
We're gonna have to have you pull an oracle card, and then I'll pull tarot cards for the oracle card, and we'll come up with like a mixed reading one night.
Oh my goodness, yes, that's such a good idea.
I like doing the you know, like the dual readings where we're like, we both sit there and I'm like, okay, so this card means this, this, and this, and with your card, we're probably, and like you can even give advice just off of the storyline, you know, that comes up, and that's how readings work, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, people like, I love teaching people and getting them into, you know, tarot, oracle, or anything like that, you know, if they want to. I'm obviously not by force, but when people are like, how do I use these just to like improve myself or give advice or anything like that?
Yeah, no, that's
unless you're tarot destroyer, and then we're just all evil.
Do you know what? I just kind of want to become friends with this person.
I know. We should all subscribe
so hard to get everyone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie's great too. Yes, Oracles and
She's
Beyond.
Great. Yeah, we talked about Cassie.
And she's amazing. So sweet. When like, so you've got Jen, who's like, I'm just gonna fucking give you this reading, and this is how it is. You listen to me, or this is good.
It's gonna be hilarious when we and her read together.
You and Cassie,
I kid you what.
You've got Cassie that's just like, okay, so we're gonna do. She's just so sweet, and she gets her point across as well, and she's phenomenal with her readings. But the comparison to the two is so different.
We contrast in how we read, but the messages come out just as strong. Like from my way to her way, it's just they're good readings. There's a lot of good readers out there. There is a lot of good readers out there. And like many that just blow your mind. And a lot of it is like, a lot of people say like, oh, you know, if you know psychology, it's easy to like manipulate people. It's not even like, we're not trying to do that. Some readers do. Okay, I can vouch for that. They're just in it for the money or whatever. It happens. There is a newer reader that I can tell that that's what they're doing. But you know, it's like if you're gonna go to these ones that, you know, are gonna tell you what you want to hear versus what you need to hear, they're probably doing it for monetary gain. I will say that much. But as far as like me and certain other ones, we are doing it to help others, like give them that message that they might have felt and forgotten or forsaken about. And they just need something to help them get to the next day, next hour or whatever, give them that glimpse of hope or anything like that. And so that's why we do it. I try to ascend people and get them to the next point that they're, you know, if they feel stuck right now, then let me help you get unstuck, you know, and move you forward. And yeah, you can do that with prayer and going to God and stuff like that. I do that too. But I also, you know, enjoy this for entertainment purposes too. You know, you don't have to accept it. You know, you don't have to utilize it and carry it as law. Take what works, leave the rest. But it's interesting. It can be fun. It can be frustrating. Because I have clients that really, and there's time you'll see that I refuse to read for certain people. And the reason I do that, if somebody's like, I need a reading right now, it's like, no, you probably need a friend to talk to. You probably need to calm down, because if you need a reading, that is when you do not need a reading.
Okay, yeah.
You do not need it at all, because guess what? You're going to develop this codependency with the tarot and divination, and you're going to rely on it for every step you take. Not good. Not good at all. The tarot, anything is for energies. It's to get your energies in focus. That's what it's for. But it is not for you to sit there and be like, I'm going to predict your future. I'm going to do this. If that comes out and comes across, it happens. But it's not for like, you know, if you come to me and you're like, am I going to, you know, pass away from cancer?
Yeah.
Why would you ask that of some cards? You know, things like that. So I try to get people to be like, no, let's not rely on something. Let's rely on self. Let's get you to the point where you rely on self. That's why I always tell people, I'm going to be the last tarot reader you ever go to.
Right.
And not because you're going to keep coming back to me, because you're not, but because you're not going to need them after today, after we're done. You know, I want to get you to the point where you need to realize where you're drawing in this energy. What about you is drawing in, whether it's a negative, positive, lack of change, too much change. What is it about you that's bringing this energy forward? Are you too eager? Are you too anxious? Are you this? Let's work with those energies and see if we can't make change within that. And that's how I read. But if I get people that are calling me at like 2:00 in the morning, like I need a reading now, I'm like, sorry, go to somebody else that's going to take your money. Because that's all they're going to do. They're going to take your money, tell you, flip a few cards, tell you, oh yeah, he's cheating on you, when he might not be, but the cards told you that. And so you're going to sit there and carry that as law. And, you know, that, but when people do things like that, they already know the answer that they want to get, and they will only accept that answer. I've had people say, no, you have to be wrong. And I was like, I can only tell you what is in front of me. I can't bend it in any different way. So if you have it in your mind that it's one way, you need to figure out what it is about you that's rotating that thought, and go from there, because I can't help you with that. And that's why what I do is not like your traditional, like, Miss Cleo, call me now and let me read your future and all that. I don't do that, you know. That's just not me. I'm not that type of reader.
Absolutely. Well, I like this comment from Lynn. She says our Jen is a Willy Wonka, don't sugarcoat it shit. That is literally it in a nutshell.
No sugar.
If anyone comes to your readings, it's going to be one of those. It's like, this is what it is. I'm telling you, you know, like what it is, and this is how I do my reading. So deal with it. Okay. So Tanya, holy crap! I didn't just fall off of the keyboard. I fell off the whole desk and rolled out the door. What's happening over there, Tanya? Are you okay? Yeah. Oh, that's
if
funny.
we're rolling out the door, let's go. Let's roll out the door. But
Tanya's having a bad day.
But it's also like that in the paranormal, when people want to see spirits so bad, like in the paranormal, when people want to believe that they're communicating with a spirit so bad, they'll believe anything that says it's communicating, right? Like pre-programmed apps and ITCs and stuff like that, where it's like, are you getting answers? Are you getting that thing telling you something? Like, is it the machine? Yeah. Is it the app? Is it an actual spirit? But if you want to believe that, it depends on which narrative you're following, you know?
Absolutely. Tanya's internet is literally kicking her butt right now.
Oh no, mine was earlier.
But yeah, wow. Entities like to play jokes. Yes, they do. And that's what I was saying about the two girls, the meta psychics. They explain it so well. And it's fun to watch them, because they'll be sat there like laughing, and it's like, what's going on? And they'll tell you what the spirits are actually doing. And another thing as well, she's like, there was one case, I don't know if it was Sam and Colby or something, but they it was, because they were sitting in the Devil's Chair at the Haunted Museum, and they were reviewing that investigation. And so they're obviously like, is the devil here, and da da da. And something came through like that said devil or nearby or something, and they start laughing, going, okay, so now they think that the devil's here because it's just like agreed with them. But in reality, it's just this a spirit. He was a handyman that used to work in the house when it was someone's house, and the handyman goes around and he kind of looks after everyone that comes on the tours, because there are negative things there, but it's the handyman that's actually talking to Sam and Colby whilst they're sat in the devil's rocking chair. And he's going, so they're going, is the devil here? And he's going, well, yeah, he's nearby, but there's only little bits of words that are coming through.
Right.
This spirit's having a conversation, but only a couple of the words are coming through. So everyone's freaking out, thinking that it's saying, yes, I'm nearby you, I'm here, and all that. It's not, it's the handyman. It's actually the spirit of the handyman that's like, well, there aren't things nearby, but I'm here, I'm protecting you. Like, you should go, because it will say go, leave now, and all this, and everyone's like, oh no, oh, they want us to leave. It's the handyman going, you should leave now. Like, and these girls are laughing, and it's funny to actually realize what is going on.
We're gonna go and review. We're gonna go, and you and me one day for positivity. We're gonna review Omar's old like prank videos and stuff. We're gonna watch Omar's old videos, and we're gonna sit there and we're just gonna do that. We're gonna sit there and talk about how like his reactions and stuff like that. Because he used to remember when he first brought the necrophonic out and made it like wide known. He used to get so many responses, like we would say like demon and stuff like that, and he'd be like, nope, no demons here.
Yes, and he would never touch a spirit box or anything, even like the dowsing rods or anything. He's like, no, not doing that. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a part of anything paranormal. I remember those days, but now look at him. He's like off alone.
He's our little pioneer of the paranormal.
Absolutely.
On YouTube.
I'm so down. And another friend of mine, which I was trying to like meet up with you guys as well, whilst we were in North Carolina. I don't know if anyone has heard of the channel C's Crazy Crossroads. His name's Chris, and he's become a really good friend of mine. Like for the past couple of years, he was one of the people that gave me knowledge of YouTube and gave me insight on just how to go about doing this, and it just helped me a lot. And we kind of become friends because I did a reacts with Sammy, and we were just taking the mickey out of him, but in a good way, you know. And he saw that video. Yes, I tagged him in it, but he saw that video and he was like, holy shit, girls, you're so funny. Like, that's brilliant. Like, he got bit by a mosquito on his head, and I was like, Jesus, what the hell is that on his head? And we're ripping it into him, because when he screams and gets scared, and he really gets scared as well, he sounds like a little girl, just like Ali H. Like, he screams like this little girl.
God,
and we're
CJ, have you heard him when he gets scared and he speaks like tongues? It's oh my gosh.
It's hilarious.
Oh my god, he cracks
so
me
funny.
up. Like, I love watching CJ face scared because he literally goes, oh! And you just sit there and I'm like, oh my god,
and falls to the floor when he does like a Scooby-Doo across the floor. Like,
oh my god, like
if there's anyone in the chat right now and you want to see me and Jen sit and do our own version of reacts,
we've seen the boys do reacts, but us women, come on now.
We've always got something to say. But let us know down in the comments after this video, or go and do it now and let us know which big YouTuber you'd want us to react to. We're not going to go light on them either.
I say we pick on Omar first. Absolutely. Just because you and I both know him so well. Yeah. And we could literally like text him and be like, hey, we're going to watch a couple of your videos. You should come watch it with us. We're going to roast you. With love.
We are going to roast you hard.
It's like marshmallow roasting. We're making s'mores. But oh my gosh, like just to sit there and be like, because you know what, I watch a lot of the guys do like their reacts and stuff like that, and it's funny and all, but we add a little something, right?
Yes, we add a little bit of spice. Absolutely.
And then
Omar
you guys
and CJ. Marianne says,
when she finally gets monetized, which is gonna happen. It's gonna happen like this week.
I had 91 hours I'm on so far. 91 hours left.
So she's only got 91 hours left before she hits her 4K, and then she gets like the perks of, you know, everybody showing up, and we can make badges for her members, and it could be little Ouija board planchettes.
Oh, because trust me, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that members will be seeing. A lot happens on my unexplainable adventures.
And then when that happens, we get to premiere the Seance Sisters. We get to do a bunch more stuff.
Like, we're literally just waiting for me to just jump over that milestone, and then the Seance Sisters are coming, guys. Like, you've seen it all already.
Live seances, knowledge about seances, history of seances, things like that. Like, you're gonna learn stuff. Like, it's not just so much like, ooh, you know, we're gonna bring out, you know, whatever equipment. We're actually gonna be like, look, this is what we learned about this equipment. This is where it comes from. you know, and stuff like that. So there's like knowledge to be learned. And then like, obviously, you know, us, you know, performing stuff and, you know, and then when we meet up and stuff, it'd be all the better. But there's so much crazy stuff that's going to come your way. And especially with Halloween coming, like we want to get that going as soon as possible for you guys. So you don't want to miss it either. So make sure notification bells are on. Make sure.
My goodness.
Like you better go check and make sure.
Okay, so we've got a hell of a lot of CJs and Omar as well. So yeah, we'll kick it off with Omar because we know that he's not gonna
he's not gonna strike
us a copyright strike. He's gonna love it. The thing with Omar as well, like we all know, and you know as well very well, that he's such a good sport. Yesterday, me and PLE were ripping his name, going, "Who is he? Like Poma Posh?" Like, and in that little video, he's like, "They're taking the mickey out of my name. I just want to sound like her." And he's such a good sport. Like we can sit and do like a really funny reacts and take the mickey out of him with his little girly screams and stuff, and he's gonna be fine with it. And
his old stuff, oh my god, I know, like he's got really good stuff coming out lately. The Alone series.
Have you seen that? Has anyone here seen one of Omar's old videos when he did the pranks and he went to Chick-fil-A and went, "There's something wrong with my chicken," and they opened the box and there were live real chickens inside the box? That's when I first found him. Like I stumbled across that video and I was like, this dude is hilarious. Like, and that was many movies
I remember when he first came to YouTube, like that long ago, when he was just doing pranks, like no paranormal, but he was also on Vine. You guys remember Vine?
I never saw Vine.
Vine was like TikTok. Like, okay, how Vine pioneered a lot of stuff for content creators. Vine, you could put small videos out. Like they had a time limit. And then the more of a following you had, the more limit you got. So, you know, when people were on Vine and stuff, a lot of paranormal people started on Vine and they brought it over to YouTube because Vine went under. But like now TikTok is doing that like quick and easy gratification nation type stuff. And it really hits off because sometimes people want a longer video when they're learning stuff, okay? Not like when people are gaining knowledge from something, they want to see more of that. But as far as like, you know, jump scares and things like that, they want those usually popping at them. Like, you know, they want them quick and bam, bam, bam. So that's why the 15, 20-minute videos work so well. But when it comes to like longer videos, dude, we're competing against like people with, you know, like we're competing against shows like Ghost Adventures and stuff like that. So you have to remember, like when we make videos, like when Paranormal makes videos, I can go and turn my Discovery Plus on and watch the same stuff, or I can turn on YouTube and watch, you know, my content creators. But if my content creators aren't being innovative, they aren't testing the limits, they aren't doing something, I'm gonna go watch the guys with a bigger budget that can, you know, because
that is true,
because it they want you to jump at them, grab them, and pull them in. And if a content creator, we're not doing that, then what's the point? If it's already an oversaturated market. So that's why people are like, "Oh, I have all these subscribers." Yeah, but you only have 100 views. Why? Okay, it's not because your content's not good. It's not that you're not going to these really cool locations. It means that maybe you need to focus on how you're presenting something. Remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
The same thing goes with the basic psychology of a video. So that's why I always tell people, study film. Study film. Because if you can study film, because filmmaking is all psychology. The buildups, the anticipation, the right shots, the right everything. Most people on YouTube do what the last person did that got views, and they try to recreate that. And that's the reason why our views go like this.
Yeah.
You know, instead of going like this, because if you're not the first person to do it and you're not the first person to get the attention from it, then you're probably going to be second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And that's why the algorithms beat your ass. But if you can be innovative, if you can grab somebody, if you only have a 10-minute video, but you threw somebody around, that's why Disney does so well. Because, you know, you watch a Disney video and you're, hell yeah, let's dance and sing. And then you're crying because Mufasa killed somebody. It does that. It jumbles you around. People love that. And it carries over to your content as a creator. That's why it's creating. So you need to grab people and get them feeling safe. Just like in a horror movie, you got to feel safe. And then you got to scare the shit out of somebody.
Yes.
And then you got to sit there and make them go, is this really going to happen to me? Like, you want those covers pulled up over their head at night at the end of your videos. And that's where you need to be. Don't let them feel and that's why in haunted houses, haunted attractions, they chase you out of there.
Yeah.
They need to strip you of safety and security. And that's what makes people go, you want to see a damn good video? You want to see some real scary shit? And then they put this on and it's like, is it going to happen to me? Is it going to affect me? Am I taking this with me? If you can do that to somebody, then you'll see that the creation of your videos like gets shared more. People want to see them more. And that's why some people say, oh, it's fake paranormal. It might not be fake paranormal. It's just the way they present it is they nailed the freaking formula and it looks fake. There are some fakers out there, don't get it twisted. But there's some people like with Omar, he has just nailed the psychology of scare. And yeah, in time, he's made money, he's bought new equipment, he's trying new things, he's doing new stuff. But when you nail the psychology of scare, when you nail the psychology of how to present something to somebody, either you have to enrich their life. You have to enrich their life. You have to utilize their emotions on a video because you have their attention for the first 30 seconds. And then you want to keep it for 3 minutes. Then you want to keep it for 10 minutes and then so on and so forth, right? So you have to do this roller coaster maneuver of safe, jump scare, just the same way in movies. Like when you watch your favorite paranormal shows, watch it, figure out why you're watching it. What is it about this that's drawing me in? Like separate yourself from being a spectator to being like, now you're on the outside looking in of like, why is this person drawn to this? What did this show do? What did this location do? And you start playing with that for your locations, your editing, your content. And guess what? You start doing the same thing. Because why has Ghost Adventures been in syndication for so long? Why are they still producing a strong audience? Why is Zach Bagan making bank? Because he's nailed something about him has caught attention. Yep. Some women think he's hot, but remember back in the day, original Ghost Hunters, you had Nick and all them screaming their asses off running down hallways because it was funny. You could relate to it.
Yeah.
Because it scared you. It scared the audience, and we were there with them. And you just carry that over to your channel, and you'll hit. I'm a tarot reader, but psychology of stuff. I mean, I studied psychology most of my professional career, and that's why I'm able to be a really good funeral director. That's where all my degrees are in. And that's why in tarot readings, I tell people, like, I don't need the cards to tell you your problem. I don't need the cards to tell me anything. Let's sit and have a chat. But people will want the cards to be that visual representation. And so they're like, if the cards can say it and the cards don't know me, then I can believe it, right? I can relate to it. So use that facet. It's not how many subscribers you have. I've seen people with 1,200 subscribers and 50,000 views on a video. So it's not the subscribers. Yeah. It's not the subscribers. It's not the likes. Don't chase. Let it manifest. Let it be. Give it, do what you love and it will happen. Do it and study it and let it be a passion. Let it not be something that you just float and let go into, wherever direction. Let it be something that you're like, I care about this so much that I want to create it. I want to get dirty with it. I want to enjoy it. Because there's so many people that are like, I know how YouTube works. And they don't. I've worked for YouTube. I listen to this stuff and I'm like, you couldn't be so far from fucking wrong. But I don't say anything. I'm like, all right, believe what you want. Mm-hmm. Zach's personality does draw it in, but is that Zach's personality when he's sitting at home in his sweatpants? No.
I definitely believe that you have to have some type of personality to do these. You can't go out on an investigation and be all monotone and
vanilla.
What's that over there? Like, and none of like, what was that?
Well, what's his name? Like, what's his name? The one with the monotone voice that's like number one, blah blah blah. What's his name?
Chills.
Dylan. Yeah, Chills. Where he has the monotone voice, but you know what it is? It's like not, he lets his content guide and you expect his, like, you can hear the distinguishings in his voice.
Creepy. And even though, yes, he is monotoned and that kind of goes against what I just said, but it's creepy monotoned, and then he has that
it
creepy
plays
avatar,
with the mind.
and it's like,
yeah.
Like, we all know what he looks like now because he's dropped his face.
Yeah.
But before, it was like that creepy thing, and he
it plays
would never.
With the mind.
You're like, who is he? What does? Is he actually a demon? Because his voice sounds like one, and it's just. And he actually talks like that in real life. Did you know that?
Yep.
That's actually his voice. Like, because
it's a little different. It's a little different. It's a little different. He has a little bit more aperture in his voice. Like, he does have a few highs and lows, but his normal speaking voice sounds like this, you know. So it talks. It's a little more drawn out in his videos, but you know, you can tell.
I remember watching one video of his where it was literally like a behind the scenes type thing. So it was like uncut. No, that's what it was. It was like an uncut one. So he was like, so he'd be like, so these YouTubers went, and then he'd forget what he said, and then he'd go back and go, so these YouTubers, like, do you know what I mean? He'd like, there was like no cuts or edits, and he's like just repeating himself because he just said it wrong, and it was just so funny.
Well, it's like with Fluff. Like, when I first started watching Fluff, he was like the botched paranormal investigators. All right, Lynn, we love you. Thanks for being here, sis. But he was like the botched paranormal investigator. It was like, if something was going to go wrong, it was going to go wrong with Fluff. Because he'd sit there and be like, oh, shit. And then he'd act scared and be like, well, hi, ghosts. Hi. And then you'd hear him go, shit, and be running. And him and Greg and stuff like that, his friend Greg, it was hilarious. He left his friend behind. He heard somebody scream, and he like bolted over a fence and left his friend back there with the monster, right? And his friend was like, wait for me. And it's stuff like that where it's like he brought comedy to the paranormal, like how Omar did. But with Fluff, it was just like, it was this like campy humor. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is like, he's like if you wanted to fail at a paranormal investigation almost. Wow. But then there's times where he has like really good ones, but at the same time it was like he wasn't afraid to be him, and that was cool too. So you have to figure out who you are. You have to be good with yourself and how you present yourself, and be comfortable, because people want to be comfortable with you. Yes. And if they can't do that, if you're like, because that's what happens with Zach Bagans. A lot of people think he's like faking it and like his personality, and in many ways he is, but that's still a part of him. But I mean, like, would you watch it if it was the real Zach Bagans? You know, like, that's kind of how I think about it. Is like, would you watch it if he was just sitting there like scratching his nuts on, you know? I mean, he might. There's some women that would, but like, if he was just sitting there, like, because from what I understand, he's really quiet. Like, when he's just at home, he's quiet. You know, he's not this like loud, boisterous person. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you know, they would construe that as boring. So he has a presence that he perfects, and it works for him. Just like with PLE, he has a presence that works for him. And he's still developing himself. Like, he gets all excited when he's like, more of my personality is coming out. And I'm like, dude, why are you even hiding your personality? Like, why, why are you trying to like, he's like, why are you trying to be something that you're not? Like, you know, like, don't tone yourself down. It's like, not that he's trying to be something he's not. He's trying to tone himself down to have a presence. And it's like, yeah, but that's boring. Like, people don't do that.
As I say this to him all the time, like how he is on a live. So, for example, when we were baking cookies and it was all going wrong, and he's running around with a spatula, and Christmas was here, and he's opening the Christmas tree box with a spoon, and, you know, hanging baubles from his ears, like, people want to see that. It's funny, him rocking around the pole in the front room and dancing.
But yeah, those were the best times when he was pole dancing in your live stream, you know, and stuff like that. It's like, we know he can be stoic and proper and, you know, stuff like that. But if you get to know the real PLE, he has jokes.
He's so humor. Fun, and he is like that in real life. Like, sometimes I have to block it out. I'm like, you know, there's too much. He's not one of these. I don't think I ever see him down, like, or low, or like, he has his quiet moments, but that's when he's editing. But other than that,
if he's ever down, it's like something really bad happened.
Yes.
You know, like, I mean, I've seen him down, but it doesn't last long, because I'm always like, dude, you know, you're better than this.
Yeah.
And you know, it's bullshit. You know it is. And he even says, he goes, I know I do. It's just, I'm in my feels. And I was like, don't be in your feels. You know, like, being close friends, like we all are, like, people don't realize how close of friends we are. And so they're always like, you know, and I was like, no, I know when Peely is upset. I know when Shani is upset. I don't even have to be on the phone with her, and I know when she's upset because she doesn't text me for 2 days. And she's going through stuff, and I'm like, sis, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. And she might not even respond, and I'm like, Peely, what's wrong? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, she needs chocolate and a foot rub. And so he's like, okay. It's fun. It's fun being friends, like off the camera.
Last week, like, I still have so much past that I'm trying to cleanse from my body. So, and it's got nothing to do with PLE. And bless him, he really tries.
He's so patient,
so loving, and
so
patient.
is Fluff.
Oh
my gosh.
Patient. And there's these days, like, us girls as well are sometimes over emotional, and there'll be a moment I'm sat on the sofa and I'm just crying for no reason, but it's because something's still affecting me from the past. And it's like, I don't want to talk about it because you wasn't in that past, and I don't want to put that on you. So now,
I do that to Fluff so
last
much.
week, I was having this little, like, sad moment. So I took myself away because I didn't want to be around him like that, because it's not fair. So I went into the bedroom, had a little cry, and
then they follow you in there.
He came in with, like, you know, the Musketeers chocolate bar. He was like, I got this for you, because out here, that's my favorite chocolate. He was like, I got this for you. And then he left, and he come back in, and he come in with a packet of crisps, chips as well. And he was like, and these. I was like, I love you so much. He was like, please stop crying. I was like, I'm trying.
Because he's in the,
he was like, eat your chocolate, you'll be fine.
He's in the living room going, oh shit, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, what do I do? I just go.
And I just told him, I was like, let her, you know, like I've told him before, like, when she's upset, let her have the cry, let her be upset, let her get it out, because if she keeps it in and you try to, like, snuff it and hush it and like hug it away all the time, I was like, then she's not expelling it, she's not getting it out. So I was just like, let her do that, like, let her, you know, be her and work through it.
Yeah.
Then you just take her some chocolate and some tea or something and be like, when you're ready. And she, you know, and then when she's ready to talk, you know, when she's ready to feel, she will spell it, you know, she'll say it to you. But there's times where, like, poor Fluff. There was one day I woke up and I'm like, you know what Dream You just did? And he was like, no. And I was like, Dream You was cheating. And he was like, shit. And so the whole next day I was like quiet and bitchy, right? And he's like, now I got to make up for what Dream Me did last night.
So we are, like, this is how alike we are. I've had that dream, and I'm sure we're not the only girls that have that dream. But I think it's because we love our partners so much. That is the worst fear.
But we have for that to happen. We have trauma from bad relationships, like both her and I do. And I'm like, you know, I've come from where, you know, I had been cheated on by my first husband, and, you know, abuse from my second husband. And it's like, they don't do it. The boys don't do it. They are so docile in their corners, like, whatever it is you need.
If they see us cry, they're like, oh, shit. What do I do?
And then, and it's funny. Peely and Fluff are sitting there going, what do I do? Tell her you love her. Go over there. Just, okay, wait. I'm going to wait a minute. Okay, yeah, wait a minute.
He tells me 30 times a day that he loves me without fail.
That's Peely's, like, go-to. Just tell her you love her. It's going to be okay. And they're so, like, they're the best men. I kid you not. We have the best men. Absolutely. Because they put up with our, just everything. Us from our past that had nothing to do with them.
That's the big thing, is that these poor lads, like, have literally got our past on their shoulders too. And it's not because we want to put it there. Unfortunately, because of the trauma, it's still within us. And unfortunately, these beautiful men are kind of just stuck in that wave.
They're stuck as we're working through all of our shit. They're like, honey, do you get away from me?
Yep. And I tell you, I've had that dream as well. And I went a whole day of just like, don't just go away. And he's trying to hug me and give me a kiss. So I'm like, just go away from me. And he's like, at the end of the day, he was like, babe, I know I've really upset you somehow, but what did I do? Because I want to make it better. And I was like, you cheated on me. He was like, when? I went,
how could dreams do this to me?
He was like, wait, hold on. So you've been mad and crying today because I cheated on you in your dream. I was like, yeah, and it fucking broke my heart.
With some other.
Yeah, I was like, you broke my heart. Like, it's still breaking right now. He went, I didn't do it. I said, yes, but in my dream you did. He was like, I'm sorry. Is when they apologize for the dreams as well. They're like, I'm sorry I did that.
And then they tell you, like, I would never do that. That's not, and you know it. You know that that's true. What they're saying is true. They wouldn't do it.
No.
But at the same time, you're like, but if you did. And Fluff hates it when I do the ultimatum questions. Because I'm always like, babe, would you still love me if I looked like this? And I'll do that thing where you tuck your teeth. And he's like, babe, stop it. You don't look like that. Right. I'm like, well, what if I did? What if I only had one eyeball? Would you still? He's like, I hate when you do.
Yeah.
I torture him. Oh my gosh. Like, and as women, we can, like, and there's times where I'm like, sis, you good? Like, you need me to talk to you? Like, are you good? Like, you know he loves you. And she's like, I know. And it's like, all right, well, you go take a bath, like, chill out, get something to eat. It's gonna be all right, and she's better, honestly, in that relationship. I'm doxing a little bit here. PLE is the one that is more like, oh my God, what do I do? And she's more of like, like, if he's upset at all, which rarely happens.
Oh,
she's just like, I'll get over it. we'll be all right.
And I don't, like, inside I'm going, oh, I don't want you to hurt, but the words that come out isn't what's going on inside.
I'm like, so bad about that. Right. I'm so bad about it because it sounds like I'm being so passive, and it's like I'm not, but my mouth is like, it's whatever. I'll be like that. I'll be like, it's whatever. And then poor Fluff is like, what? And I'm like, no, it's just never mind. And I'll do that to him, like, never mind. And he's just like, no, tell me. And I'm like, it's not even that important anymore. Like, I worked it out in my own head.
Yeah.
And he's still sitting there like, do you want me to leave? And I'm like, oh, just sit down and be quiet. Like, we're done. Like, I already had the argument in my head. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's over and done with. But then it's like, sometimes, like, I know that I speak to him in the wrong way sometimes, and I really don't mean to, but it's because I'm arguing in my head about something that happened 5 years ago. And unfortunately, he comes in at the wrong time. I snap at him. And now
he's a third party. He's a third party to the argument.
Yeah, and he had nothing. He had nothing to do with it. And then I snap at him and talk to him like rubbish for a little while. And in my head, I'm going, Shani, stop it. Why are you talking to that poor lad? Like, you can clearly see on his face that you're upsetting him right now. But I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'm like, just don't.
I'm not done.
But in my head, I'm going, please come and give me a cuddle and tell me you love me. But the words that are coming out is saying, just don't look at me right now. But inside, I'm going, I just want you to come and hug me. Why can't I say that out loud?
It's the strong bitch exterior with the softy interior. That's what it is. No, there's times where I'm like, I'll be looking at him and like, he's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah. And like, because I said it like that, he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. But I'm already like, I've had the conversation in my head. So having to repeat it like a third time, because I've thought it and then I ran the situation in my head. And now that I'm having to say it is like me repeating it like for the third time. So by the time he sits there and goes, what? I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's not you. And my poor kids, they get that too sometimes where it's like I'm concentrating on something and it's not always a good thing. It'll be playing in my head and I'm just like, what? And they're like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the best thing is a lot of people are actually agreeing with us. All females, obviously. But so it is a common thing, I think, and it's just crazy. But at the end of the day, we've got such good men that just stick by us. And like we said, even with these stupid dreams that we have and then blame them for, they would never. Like,
we're in North Carolina, and there's days where we were looking fright, we had been up all night. We're like, okay, hold on, let me put something on this, you know. And then we're going into town or whatever, and it's like these pretty girls will walk by, and our men are just like, they don't even look. And I even nudged her. I nudged her. And I was like, they didn't even fucking look. They didn't look at nothing. She almost had all of her bits and pieces out, and they're just like, like they don't
even look at girls. Like, and then I'm going, why aren't you looking at those girls? Because that's what men do. But if you look, I'm gonna go crazy. But they don't. They don't. It doesn't even faze them. Half the time, if me and PLE's going downtown, and there'll be like this beautiful girl, I'm the one that's like,
it was Robbie. Robbie's right. He did all the looking. Robbie did all the looking in North Carolina. But you know what? In his defense, the women were looking at him too. So, because Robbie's a little hottie. He is. I can say that because I can appreciate my bro being a hottie. He's a brother, though.
Oh my God! And they're woman like, I would marry, it would be Jen.
I know. I told Shani in our next life, like, the boys will have to be with each other.
Yeah, they've got some weird relationship going on already. Like,
they snuggle behind our backs.
I'm pretty sure when our men went missing in North Carolina, that's what they were snuggling. They were snuggling in a bush somewhere.
You know what? Some people came back with different shirts on, and you just never know.
Yep.
No, but we had the best time. We went shopping. I took Shani to her first TJ Maxx. Yeah, and we were just she's tripping out because I keep throwing stuff in the cart. I was like, you need this and you need this. And I'm buying like PLE a lunchbox because he doesn't have one for work. And I was like, this. And I got her that really awesome iced coffee tumbler. And then I was buying stuff for like the babies and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody needs stuff. And she's like, sis, I didn't bring this much. And I was like, did I ask you if you brought? And she's like, okay.
But I tell you what, that tumbler though, it keeps the ice cubes for hours.
God, yes.
Like,
I kept making her ice
disappear.
I kept making her ice. Everywhere we went, I was like, we're gonna make this iced coffee. We're gonna stop buying it. We're gonna make some. And I was making her like tumblers of iced coffee.
Guys, seriously, I'd wake up in the morning because obviously I was the last one to wake up because I like my bed. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd drag my feet to the breakfast table, and then you've just got Jen already made the iced coffee, just puts it down in front of me. She's like,
I'm cooking bacon.
And I'm like, that's it, I'm ready to go now. But she's up hours and hours before we are, but she's got the iced coffee ready because she knows I'm about to walk out any second.
Yeah, there's times she'd open the door. I'm like, good morning. And she's like,
good morning.
She's like, you're the best. And then PLE would be up and I'm like, do you want orange juice or do you want Coke with ice? And he was like, a Coke with ice would be great. And I'm like, there's yours. And then like Nubs will drink anything. So I was just like, what do you want? He's like, just pop open a can of Coke. I was sitting there like, all right, let's clean up because we had this beautiful Airbnb. And I was like, let's clean everything up. Let's just get showered. Let's get out of here. Let's go explore. Let's go do stuff. We had like so many plans, like so much stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
PLE got, bitch slapped by a battleship.
Justice for PLE.
Oh my gosh.
So many people were so mad with us.
I think some people are still mad over that.
Yeah, it was the perfect opportunity.
Oh my gosh, it was just like we had the best of time. Are you guys going to UrBexCon?
I think so, yes.
Okay, good. Because we're going. We're gonna go pick up Second Star Matt.
We're gonna
go drive. Yeah, we're gonna go drive through there. We're probably gonna stay the night with him one night, so that way it doesn't mean I'm driving like for a straight 16 hours or whatever the distance is. And then we're going to drive to UrBexCon. So you guys, like, we need to plan up. I
think like before we actually get to UrBexCon, we should try and find a route where we meet and we can drive to like behind each other.
Ooh,
like way.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's an intersecting route between. I don't know. We'll find out.
I really looked into it because I think we only found out a couple of days ago.
They just announced all the
post.
Yeah, they announced the city. Because I was like, what if it's in New Orleans? And it was, but that's okay. It's close enough. We can drive the 5 hours to New Orleans.
Wait, isn't it 17 hours away from us? I think we looked to see how far away it was. It was 17 hours.
Yeah, I think you're about as far away from it as we are. I think like it's in the middle point for us. It's a drive. Like you guys are gonna probably, I mean, I would suggest at least one stopover, like find a campground or something, like and pull over and like just get some rest, because driving the 16 hours straight, or like I did the 24 hours straight, which was totally unhealthy, but I did 24 hours straight and I was like shaking by the time like I pulled over and put the final take of gas before we got to Nubs's house. I was like, I can't stay awake anymore. Like, this is bad for me. But it was like, you can do it. It's just, I don't advise it, because then by the time you get there, remember how like wore out I was like the very first day? And so we basically, all of us ate like tons of pizza and drank beer and hung out for the first night because we had to. Like, they didn't drive as far, obviously, as I did.
No, we only did 7 hours.
But it's still a lot. It's still a lot to drive 7 or 8 hours is a stretch. So if possible, I would totally say like stop over at least one place for one night. So plan that. But I mean, if you want to try for the full 16, like, I mean, I'm not going to tell somebody what to do, but if you can, I would say like at least get one stopover night or something before we, like, you guys pull in. That way you're refreshed, you know? But it should be at a time, it's in December. So, I mean, if you pull over in the right places, like, it's not like you're going to be hot. So
yes, exactly. And we know how to keep out, because we've done like a cold night in the van before. So yeah, no, would be good. So Tony, Tony's talking about the battleship in North Carolina.
Oh my God,
when
Tony
we sent
was
that out, he's like, "Do you know?"
Tony was diving. He was digging deep for us to get information. He was like, "Oh hell no, they ain't taking PLE."
I think like the amount of people that run the police stations as well. Like, I was. Do you know what? It really touched our hearts as well, just to know how much people cared. But we didn't really want it to go that far.
You know how
maybe
many
I should have
TikToks were
stopped
made?
it the same day and not left it 24 hours.
You know how many TikToks were made and YouTube shorts were made? There was like, oh my God, there was that justice for PLE hashtag was getting up there.
Yes, it really, really was. And I tell you what, we absolutely love you guys for just the love that you showed. But it was a joke. It was a very bad one to do, I know, but the opportunity arose.
It wasn't ever supposed to go that far. No. It wasn't, but it ended up happening. It was supposed to be a prank, but it dare us for being stupid. Okay, foul on us. We didn't think that many people loved us that much.
I truly thought it was going to be a handful of people that saw it. Mostly the people at the reunion. I knew there was going to be a live stream, and then I thought the handful of people that wasn't there was going to be on the live anyway, so it would be crushed that night. There was so many more people that cared. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, and that's when I made my tweet, I was like, he's fine. You guys, he is fine. It was like, holy, like, muggle. That went quick. Like, because what had happened was that stream happened. We put our phones down. We had lunch. We were, and then from there it just went, phew, and we were like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, Shani, like, you were way too damn convincible. But yeah, it was foul on us,
Yeah.
And I can't, we all had our hand in it. So, it's nobody was better than the other on that one. But yeah, it was a prank war to be remembered, because we even had Omar was like, you guys, and we were like, I know.
Yeah, she was like, Jesus, she was like, you was so believable, like, wow. Yeah,
and it was just people were calling, like, I can only imagine what that call log for the police stations was like. Excuse me, you arrested a guy in a mask because he was wearing a mask.
I would imagine
being the operators and like hearing those. I can only imagine what people might have said, because they didn't have his name. They, nobody knows his name, like, except for the handful of us. It's like, how do you call an ass?
Yeah, the man in the mask.
There was a man in the mask on the battleship. How dare you?
I think my best TikTok slash like shorts that I saw was by Lydia Moon. We all know and love Lydia, bless her. Oh,
Bless Lydia.
she painted her face and she was like, "What's wrong with wearing a mask?" Like, and she was so passionate and so upset.
She is a gem. Oh, I love Lydia. She is so like, oh, she stands up for us. That is like she will die on our mountain, dude.
Oh,
she loved like, oh.
Yeah, 100%.
She and like, so we have so many people, like now we know that we have so many people that are like, if anything ever happened to you, and it's like, oh my gosh, like that's why they're always telling us, like, your guys' love comes through in so many different ways, like the comments of please be safe, check in, you know, until next time, we can't wait to see you again. Like, we know, like, we feel that now, like, it's, you know, even if it's only like, you know, a handful of people, that's better. I'd rather have the handful that truly do love us and would go to bat for us, and like I said, would die on that mountain for us, than like the 150 people that are like I feel so bad for Yaska when people are like, you know, how dare you not put out content for us? Like, that's not love. That's not the like, at least that's not the kind of love that I want, you know, or we want, you know, to like demand of people. Like, you know, we love putting out stuff, definitely. We love having fun with everybody, you know, that we've met. Like, I mean, it's such a community like that we have created, and it's not paranormal community or blah blah blah. It's our community of all different kinds of people in niches and things like that. We are just like good people to one another, and that's the best of the best. But you know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh no, this community, that community. It's like, no, we have our community, and whatever, anybody can come into it.
Everyone's welcome as long as you bring a good, kind heart. As
long as you're a good, you know, kind person, you know, we want you here. And whether you enjoy the paranormal, whether you enjoy tarot, whether you enjoy whatever, you don't even I have people that are subscribed to me that do not believe in what I do, that do not think it is in alignment with their religion, but they love me. And I love them for that. If they can come outside of those lines, and just love the person, you're more than, and they come to my chats, and there's hella supporters. They don't listen to the message. It's not for them, but they are great people. So even if you don't enjoy the paranormal, even if you don't believe it for 1 second, you know, we care about you. Like, we give a shit about you, and we want you here feeling, you know, if you need a place to be, to hang out and talk to people, we have other things besides the paranormal we talk about, you know, and stuff like that. This is just what we do for fun, and this is like our hobby and things like that. But we could talk about anything. Like, she's from the UK. She knows what mushy peas are. Do you know what mushy peas are?
So mushy peas.
And I mean, like, there's just so much more. And that's why we have these positivity things in our hangouts, because there's just so much more. Like, I'm a funeral director, you know, like there's a lot that goes into that, just in playing with dead bodies, you know. It's, you know, caring for people, being their service. And that's a big thing, like, that we provide. PLE's the same way. He puts a service out there, showing people these locations and spending the time learning the history and giving it the respect. Like, when I was at the LAZ, the old LAZ last night, I was telling Fluff, I was like, this is why we can't have preserved historic sites, because people want to show up with beer cans and spray paint. And this is why the cops are always like, no, you can't be there. You can't, you know, do this, because, and it's not because we're doing anything wrong or anything. It's because other people ruin it. So PLE literally has to get to these places as soon as he can, like Gundry. That was his safe haven, and it burned down. And he was actually
devastated.
Like, he was devastated because it's like there was so much history and beauty. Yes, it was old and it's decaying and everything, but it was like beautiful. It was so beautiful. And, you know, in that decay, in that aspect, you know, and he showed us that if we didn't have his videos, I mean, yeah, Dan Bell went there and stuff like that, but PLE was there a lot. His live streams with Matt and everything, him sitting on that staircase, like, is forever in my mind.
Yeah.
And I will never have seen Gundry, but I saw it through him. I got to be there with him through his live streams. And a lot of places were getting to be like that because they're demoing so much stuff. And, you know, it's incredible to be able to experience that, because, you know, if I'm not in PA, or in Baltimore or anything like that, and you're at a location that I may never see, but I saw it because you gifted me with that opportunity.
Right.
And that's a big, huge reason why a lot of us do what we do. Why we spend the hundreds of dollars on gas, food, time, and everything, because it's like, yeah, we have a hunger for seeing it ourselves, but to give it back, to give it what it deserves, means a lot to us.
Absolutely, 100%. And Tony says here, and I totally agree with this as well. Like, we all say it all the time. Like, if we call someone brother or sister, it's just not a word that's just thrown out there. It takes a lot to call someone a brother or a sister, and it does. It comes from the heart. And yeah, Tony says here, like, all of you are my family and always will be.
And we check on each other. Like, if I don't see somebody in our chats for a certain period of time and they're not on YouTube, like, we just, we can't find them, we go looking for them. Like, we start asking people, like, does anybody have any contact for this person? And we want to know. Like, when he was off of YouTube for a bit, we're like, does anybody know how to get in contact with him? Just make sure that he was okay. And he was going through some stuff. So we were like, hey, we're here for you. And he was shocked. He was like, I didn't think that I mattered that way. And it's like, of course you do. Of course you matter. Like, don't ever think, if we say, hey brother, hey sister, because we've developed that communication and that communal bond, it means something. We're just not faces on a screen. I mean, in some ways we are, but in other ways where it's bigger than that. Even people that I don't get along with, and if I've called you a brother and sister, I'm still going to check on you. I'm still going to make sure you're okay. Because brothers and sisters, even in real life, bicker and fight and stuff like that. So expect that sometimes within the community, but we're better than that, and we should be making amends and loving each other despite pain and differences, because that's what makes us grow. Not videos and views and likes. No, it's what you put into the pot that seasons it, that makes it glorious.
Oh, 1,000,000% agree with that. And by the looks of it, everyone is agreeing as well. But yeah.
Hey, MCAT. Welcome to positivity.
Have I missed that?
She just got here.
Oh.
I think just got here.
I think my thing's slow. There it is. Hi, MCAT. Let's pop you up on the screen.
I've switched to water. We think it's water, don't we?
Can I trust you, Jenny, to look after my peeps while I go and get a drink?
I don't know about that.
I know, this is why I'm asking, because I don't know either.
We're going to summon a demon before you get back.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to get back and Jen is actually...
You're going to have Zozo in the chat.
I'll be 2 seconds. Everyone, just keep an eye on Jen, please, everyone.
Yes, watch me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. This, like, she said 2 seconds. 1,000. She lied. All right, everybody, Chang is a liar. She has taken more than 2 seconds. I promise she's probably going to the bathroom too. She's going to the loo. Because that's what she does. The only person on panel is me. And Fluff's at work. Fluff is a demon. He really is a demon. So how the hell y'all doing? Anybody do anything exciting lately? I say it's water, but is it really? It might be holy water. If I don't start sizzling, then I'm not a demon. I mean, I guess I could be a good demon. Are you a good demon or a bad demon? Grab an oracle card for the day. I've got the rebel deck. Will that work? I try to be awesome. This is just me. This is just how I am. You can ask Fluffy has to do with me all day long. Oh my gosh, like that. There was one time we were driving home and I proceeded to make fart sounds for an hour and a half to the point where I was really pissing him off. Hang on. I was told to pull an oracle card before you got back, but I'm a slow bitch.
Oh, I can go again if you want.
She's like, I got to go to the loo. Hang on, this won't take long. It won't take long. Okay, the oracle card.
Actually, I am going to go to the loo while you do that. Okay.
She don't want to be here for the oracle card.
No, I don't care. No, I do. I love you.
She says it, but does she mean it?
She says and runs away.
I dropped it. I'll be right back. Hold on. Ha ha. Get some effing sleep. You are being an ass because you are effing tired. Face to pillow now. But another one fell. Okay, so if somebody might need to be taking a break from some stuff. All right. So this next one says detox. Detox. Drink a smoothie, unfriend that a-hole, and throw some S and stuff out. Woo! Okay, so someone needs to take a break from some nasty negative shit in their world, and let it be what it is. Go get you a smoothie, do some yoga, hang out with people that make you feel good about life. Don't be hanging out with nasty people. Nasty. Where's Jared? He says nasty to nasty. Are we spot on? Yeah. It's not a stream of positivity with tarot if some card didn't fly up and say something. Oh, so how is everybody?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, well, welcome back. Put the demon away, everybody. Put it away.
Where is he? Where's Zozo?
We don't know what you're talking about.
My stand is just broken right
now.
Yeah,
Marianne needs to take a nap because the rebel card told her to go to sleep, and she's like, "Oh, that is so true."
Okay, good night, Marianne.
That is the chatty card, the one that says take a nap. And she's like, "You ain't gonna threaten me with a good time." Yeah. She's like, "Give me my pillow now."
Exactly. You don't need to tell me twice to go and take a nap. I'm there. I'm done. Bye.
She's taking a nap before you finish saying nap. She's over there, what? It's nap time. That was her favorite time in preschool, was nap time. She had an A+ in napping.
Yeah, absolutely. Fluff says, I haunt you all. Fluff, you've been haunting me since the day I met you. Jeez.
Fluffoween merch.
Oh.
Did I finish showing you that
you sent
logo?
Me 2 different times.
Okay.
One.
All right. My daughter finished. Okay, my daughter finished it, right? So he doesn't look like he stole some little kid's costume in the image anymore.
Oh, see, I liked that. I thought that was hilarious.
It was funny.
That it was a sheet, and I loved it.
Okay, so he had that first image made. Like, it's an old one that he never used. He had it made and he didn't use it for whatever reason. And then I was like, we were trying to figure out what to put on his merch, and I was like, give me that wannabe Family Guy image of you. We're gonna put a sheet ghost over it. So my daughter is an amazing artist. She really is. She's an amazing graphic artist. And I messaged her and I'm like, how much would you charge your old mom to put a sheet ghost over this? And she's like, well, how do you want it? She came up with that sketch within like 10 minutes, like that first one. And then I was like, y'all want to see something funny? I was messaging Shani and PLE, like, you guys want to see something hilarious? And so I send this and I'm cracking up, like tears are falling, because I was like, okay, 2 things. He either looks like a Klansman or he looks like he stole some little kid's costume, because she had this thing so tight on, like, she put the ghost sheet over him, but it was so tight, like, around his head. It looked like he was wearing, like, it looked bad, right? And then I was laughing because it's like, what is this? And then, like, she had the sheet where it wrinkled above his stomach. And Fluff was like, Fluff looks at it and goes, oh, so I'm fat even as a ghost cartoon. And I was like, oh my God, it was hilarious.
It was brilliant. I think it's the perfect picture.
But the final version looks really good. He's holding a candy bucket and everything. It's so cute.
I don't think I've seen the final one. I've only seen the first 2.
Fluff, send her the final image so she can see it. You have the first edit one, which come on, it's hilarious. Like, he's never gonna live that one down. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I told him, I was like, we can't put that out. People are gonna be like, what's this?
Yeah.
But his merch should be dropping in just a little bit, a couple more hours. But I do have my Tarotween merch. So good night, Marianne. Thank you for joining us. We love you, sis.
Yeah, she's listening and napping at the same time. Because she's been
get
told
some rest.
to.
Get some rest. Rest is amazing. Amazing.
Okay, the pictures just come through, but I'm using my phone to film, so
she'll see it after.
I'll have to see it after.
You'll have to see. If you send it to PLE's Twitter, she might see it.
Shall I just post it? Just post it everywhere.
I know, right?
Oh no, actually no, because someone will steal it. Someone will steal the idea.
No, I made it to where, like, if you stole, like, it's impossible to steal it. It says Fluffoween all over it. Just like, well, when I posted my, because I hand did that tarot card, like, I created it. And I was like, I have to put, like, my watermark on it because people are going to steal this.
Yeah.
It looked kind of cool. It's not like, I wasn't, like, the most proud of it ever. I'll be the first to admit. But it was the first time I did it. So I'm going with the novice look of it for the first go.
Yeah.
Shani, where is your Halloween merch?
I don't have any.
Yeah, we're gonna have to create one.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait till you guys see the Seance Sisters merch. Oh my god, I have such fucking ideas for these.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be mental. Okay, I was just checking to see if my phone was charging because my charger's been playing up. Yes.
I had to plug mine in too.
Yep, there we go.
We have been live for 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
See what happens when we get together? This is why we can't do a daily thing. Because we would have to, like, our men would be hungry, like, shh, go to sleep. We're still talking.
Right, yeah.
She needs Frankenstein bath bombs. Ooh.
Oh, I love bath bombs, guys. Just anything to do with pampering. And candles and
when she came to North Carolina, I gave her so much makeup and face care and everything and a flat iron. I was like, sis, I got stuff for you.
And it was so handy because, like, when that flood happened here, everything of mine was ruined. Makeup, my hair straighteners, my hair dryer that I'd had a month, like everything, clothes, shoes, everything was ruined because it was all down the wardrobe and stuff. So it was just, I was so grateful, and so it was just, it meant so much to me that without me even saying anything, you just, this is where
I just asked you. Yeah, I just asked you, like, what do you want? What do you want? And I went and I just grabbed, like, makeup palettes and all kinds of stuff. I was like, here, take it all. Yeah. And she was like, I was like, here, this ought to save you some money. You don't have to rebuy any stuff. I have stuff.
And it really helped. And like the best thing as well is, like, that little orange stick, the face wash stuff, right? Since I've been out here, I've really been struggling with my skin because I'm so used to certain brands. Sorry?
It's so moisturizing. Isn't it so moisturizing? My goodness.
Like, so I literally used it, 6 hours ago? My face is still as soft as a baby's bum. Like, it's amazing. I use it every single morning, and if it's been a tough day, I use it at night because I can get a bit lazy with washing my face at night.
I think usually it's just
a baby wipe and go to bed.
No, when I first came in contact with those, like, I used to put them in my gym bag because it's literally a cap and you twist it and it's like this big and it's cylinder and you twist. It's like, looks like deodorant, like how it's the principle of a deodorant, but it's face wash, and you can also use it on your hands or whatever. So if you're traveling somewhere, you know, instead of carrying a bar, I think a soap that can leak in your bag or whatever, this one won't do that because it's like solid and you can wash your hands, your face. And I was like, and I know that they were traveling a lot every weekend. And I was like, here, I have like a bunch of these, take this one, tell me if you like it. Because every woman's face is different. Let's just put it that way. Like, you know, what works for me might dry her out or be too oily or whatever. And I was like, just try it. If anything, use it for hand wash. For when you're traveling, if you stop in a gas station and sometimes they don't have soap and, you know, so I always have stuff. Yeah. And I was like, just try it. But like for me, it's so moisturizing. My big thing is making sure like my cheeks have moisture, my forehead, because I used to have oily skin and then it was combination. But in certain times of the month, it gets really dry. And when it's dry, your makeup doesn't lay correctly. You know, your face feels like meh. And so I was like, here, sis, try this. This is what works for me. And since our
Oh,
water is different than what's in the UK, she's still acclimating to just everything here, the
yeah.
food, everything. And she was like, I love it. And I was like, you're
Yeah.
gonna,
It
you're gonna
works.
like
Yeah.
those. Yeah, they're awesome. I love them.
So I use that, and then I picked this up from Walmart.
Ooh,
It's
oh
like
yes,
St. Ives, and it's a Hydrate and Glow face moisturizer, and it's
that's a good
watermelon,
one.
and it actually
Hmm.
smells like watermelon. But I don't
Yeah.
just use it on my face. I put it on my arms and
Hmm.
my legs as well, especially with the heat out here.
Hmm.
This, if anyone wants to go, if anyone struggles with dry skin, I've gone through so many different brands, expensive brands, and this one's from Walmart. I think it was like $3 or something, maybe
Yeah,
four at a push.
you can
It's
get holy
amazing.
grails. You can get holy grails that are good, that are like, even that brand Elf, they have a face primer that is like, it will stick your makeup and leave it on there until you go into the ice age. Like your makeup ain't moving. And yeah, it's like $3 for like maybe six. I don't know. Like it's not that expensive compared to like buying like high top end $50-$60 shit, you know. That stuff can get expensive quick. It can get expensive real quick. And so I like it when I can find a drugstore thing, because
Yeah.
we have to wash our face regularly and moisturize it. You're gonna go through the product quickly.
Especially if you're out exploring and running through a forest like I tend to do quite a lot recently. But yeah, no, definitely.
That, and like, you know, with all the creatures that are out too, you know, it's so easy to get your face messed up with like mosquito
Right.
bites. And I'm looking for the damn serum that I just bought from Target. It's mineral 89, and it was famous in Canada, and they brought it over here. Oh my god, if you get redness, that's the one. I love it. I have expensive ass like $100 bottles of like mineral and it is mostly water anyway. So like basically I bought fancy water for $100 and
Ah,
it didn't do much. But
yeah.
this stuff, it's like, it's a, considering from a convenience store like Target, it's a little on the pricier end. It's like 20 some bucks, but you won't use it all in like a month or anything. I only like 1.5 pumps does my whole face and neck. And it really, like, I did a test on it one day. I did half the face, and I saw like how my redness, because I have rosacea, and my redness was like so much more toned down. Like I'm wearing it right now with barely any makeup on. I use a mineralized skin finish on my face. I like the look of like barely any makeup. Like I
Yes.
like the whole like my skin but better type thing. And so I put that mineral serum on, and my very, very thin, barely there makeup, and here you get this.
Your
But I
skin, though, seriously, like, guys, Jen's skin, like, you can see on screen that her skin is fucking flawless. Sorry, my language. I don't know where that come from. This is how passionate
we
I
don't
am
know.
about her skin. When you see her in real life, because she is actually a real person, believe it or not,
Some
her
days.
skin, I have never, even
And my
without makeup, it's like, how do you do that? That's not fair.
collagen. I drink collagen I was putting collagen in her coffee for her every day. I'm like, sis, you want this? You want it? It doesn't taste like anything, but it helps your skin. It really does. I've been drinking collagen for years. Water, and then just like I go with hyaluronic acid based moisturizers for plumping. And the skin is almost 40 years old. It'll be 40 years old real soon. And I still get carded for things like Sharpies at the store, or lighters and things like that. And I'm like, you don't believe I'm 18? Wow. But yeah, I had a lot of people comment at the reunion. They're like, her face really does look like that. Because I was accused of wearing filters.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was like, me, like a beauty, like, do they even have that on YouTube? And they're like, well, people can do shit, right? I mean, they can, I can't, because I don't know how to do it. But I was like, no, there's no filters. Like you know, you can tell if I put a filter on, because it'll be like a monster or something. But
Right.
like beauty filters, I'm like, they always look weird on me, so I don't use them. Like my skin color will change from like the neck to the face, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. So I don't use them. Like I've played around with a few on TikTok, and I'm like, that doesn't look great. So I don't use them. But somebody at the reunion told me, they're like, I thought you used beauty filters. I did not think that there was a possibility that someone could have like flawless skin like you. And I was like, if you want to know the truth, I don't do a whole lot. And that might be the reason why, because some people put so much stuff on their face that they like product reaction and, things like that make your skin like, react, And so I was like, just wash your face with water and gentle soap and put on a simple moisturizer like Cetaphil or something and try that. Just don't go with the fancy for a little bit and see if that tones things down, because skin is so weird. It is so sensitive.
Yeah.
But
I think the only time that you'll see me with foundation on and a bit of blush is winter time. That's it.
mm-hmm.
When the sun's out and it's hot, I do not put anything on my face because I love to tan. And if I've got foundation on, it's not going to go through. So, and I really like...
You end up with a dark chest and a light face. And so when you're on camera, you're like, I got to add bronze. Then you got to start color matching. And it's like, I don't know.
Today,
I'm lazy.
I literally just did my eyes. I was like, feel my eyeliner, that shimmer that I like to put on.
This morning was funny. I was like, sis, are you awake? And she's like, good morning. And I was like, did you just wake up too? And she's like, yeah.
For me, it's like 1 o'clock or something, or 12:30, 1 o'clock when she messaged. I was like, yeah, I just woke up.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to put a face on and put on the coffee. And she's like, me too. And so we like, just literally both of us within 30 minutes, we were like, okay, let's come up with a thumbnail because everything else was done. And I was like, I don't like I used to get all into makeup, had to have layers of shit on the face.
Yeah.
And then I was like, now that I'm older, I hate that. If my skin can't breathe, and literally the stuff that I use, like I put like a couple drops on a sponge and it's like, and if it's any more than that, if it's any more than that, I can't, no. I don't like the way it looks. Like if it looks like makeup's on my face, I hate it. I'll want it off. Like I don't like it. But there was times like, like at the reunion, I wore a little bit more because we were doing pictures. But other than that, like, because I'll literally like my demeanor changes if I'm uncomfortable. And so if I have too much makeup on or anything, like I feel uncomfortable because like then you feel like you have to like can't touch your face, can't do this. And it's
I'm constantly like this, like half the time.
And we were always laughing.
There'll be loads of times that you guys, like everyone here, will see me without eyeliner on, like, and just mascara. That's because I'm constantly like this, itching my eyes. I've got hay fever. So in this type of weather, my eyes are being affected. So I'm like this all the time. And because I usually used to put in like the eyeliner flicks on, after a while, PLE's like, yeah, you kind of look like Alice Cooper right now. What's going on over there? What's happening? I was like, oh, no.
He's like, feed my Frankenstein, babe.
Oh, my goodness. But staying on like the beauty kind of side, I want to know if there's anyone here that's watching now, and you, of course, Jen. I have this thing, like mainly in the morning, but if I take a shower or anything like that, when I get out the shower, my skin is blotchy, mainly on my face. I don't have sensitive skin. I did go to the doctors about it, and he said that I was allergic to water. But
I don't know that
when
there's so much stuff in our water. There's so much stuff in our water though. Like especially in cities that have like a lot of smog. Even when it rains, you can still get, because of it's cleaning what's in the air and it's falling on you. You know, and stuff like that. But I usually, like when I'm by the ocean, I don't have that problem. But if I'm because of they have like natural minerals in the water. But like if I'm outside of like where like there's an ocean community or anything like that, that water affects me really bad. And I get like the redness. I get so red right here.
Yeah, mainly my forehead is the worst. But yeah, it looks like it's just these blotches and it's so sore as well. Like it really, really hurts. But I do find like when I'm in London and stuff, like, and here it's really, really bad. But yeah, like it's mad that you mentioned about the coast, because it doesn't usually happen. When I used to work coastal places, it didn't really happen at all. But like,
well, like
when you were in the
beach, did you get it?
No.
In the ocean water? Yeah, see what I mean? Like, it doesn't do that to me then either. I love going to the ocean just like to walk my feet in it because it's like a free pedicure. Like, all the dryness off your feet comes off. It's like a free pedicure. It's great. But like, my friend used to go and take water from the ocean. She'd bring it home and she would use that to splash on her face, like as an astringent. You might, like, if it's next time you go to the beach, maybe just go take a jug and take some home with you, because the natural minerals and the algae and everything that's in it is all what they try to harvest into skincare products anyway.
Yeah.
And you're getting it for free. So, I mean, that on a little cotton, or something, like, see if that works. That might be, beneficial. Because I know I'll go and I'll splash water on my face and even in your hair, like, even though, yeah, you're getting salt and everything, but after you wash it out, like after you get it clean, your hair is cleaner.
Yeah.
And it flows so much better. Like,
oh my
I went and
after getting out the sea, like, yeah.
So much, like, for me, I went and, of course, like you guys have all seen, I have like the ombre hair that, bleeds down into blonde and like a cool caramel color, but it, like, having virgin hair, I had virgin hair. There was no color to it whatsoever, just my own. It was really drying to my hair. And I was like, I miss my mineral pools and stuff like that, because there's a place up in Palm Springs right by me that has a mineral pool. It's a mineral spa. And if you swim in their pool, oh my God, your hair is so soft. Your skin is so soft. Like, it is insane. One time, like a couple hours in there, like even an hour in there, and Fluff can tell you, like, we like going and renting a room there just to use their pool. It is so, it's all seawater. It's like seawater. It's filtered seawater that they use. And it feels so awesome. I love it. Yeah, kelp and seaweed are superfood for our skin, our body, things like that. Oh, yeah. So I would maybe like consider like maybe just getting a water bottle, grab some seawater and see if that, like, aids in like helping clear up stuff on your face or something. I mean it's a suggestion.
Yeah, we do have a freshwater lake that's like, I think it's 40 minutes away from here. Would that be
that might work too? That might work too.
It's where we used to take Litlin for a swim when it first got hot.
There you go. That might work. I mean, did it have an effect on your skin when you went?
Oh, yeah. Like, my skin almost felt soft. And I was swimming like a mermaid that day. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So, like, natural water is what works for you, because they put chlorines and stuff to clean the waters that we use, and it's having a harsh effect on your skin. That's probably what all that is.
Right.
Is all the crap that people put in so it's drinkable and usable. It'll clean out all the nasty stuff. And so that's probably I know that's probably what affects my skin.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, chlorine pools can give me the blotchies and stuff like that. It really dries me out.
Yes.
But natural waters, like, I get it. Yeah, fish fart in it and all other stuff and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But I'm sorry, it makes my skin feel soft.
Yeah, absolutely. Tanya says they're making salt water, for home pools now. That's really cool. Yeah.
In the place I lived before, we had a saltwater pool. They've had that for a while, because the pool over there was at least 16 years old, and it was a full saltwater pool. I loved it. Saltwater pools are amazing because it draws out like all of your like inflammation. So if you have body pains and stuff, the saltwater pools they're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I love them.
I don't think I've been to a saltwater pool yet. Only
there's like the places that have spa pools, they're usually like salt component pools, but there is like these places you can go to. I used to go to them all the time, and they're like float spas where literally you float in your own personal pod, and it's supposed to help with like drawing out like pain and enhancing the skin. It's like I think they have like 1,000 pounds of salt in them, and then it's like maybe 3 feet of water, and it's like it's so buoyant that you can't sink in it, and you literally just get to float in there. And it's like, oh, my hair used to feel so amazing in those, and it's like being like a little mermaid in your own little pool. And it's so good for your skin. Like my skin had never been better. And like I had way more energy because of all the magnesium that's in it and everything. It was nice.
Oh my goodness. I really, really want to go in one. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
When we go to Vegas, they have one there. You and me are gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go when we go to Vegas.
I'm gonna have a girly day.
We are. I don't know what the boys are gonna. They can go play with themselves. I don't care. You and me are gonna go off and because we're taking 2 cars. Like Fluff's gonna take his truck, and I'm gonna take my car. So it's not like they're without a vehicle, you know. But I mean, we're in Vegas. They can take a cab anywhere. But you and me will drive in and have like a float spa day and come out of there all refreshed and tired. And then go off and have a great night. Go get drinks. Ooh.
I can't wait. I think we're coming to
you. It's gonna be so much fun.
I think we're gonna come up to you before the reunion, like
sweet.
5 days before or however long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're gonna come out earlier because we're gonna go and do a bunch of stuff before the reunion stuff.
We're gonna go and stalk Zach Baggins. That's what we're gonna do.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna make an adventure out of that with the group. Like probably have a day where we go to the museum or something. I don't know because there's so much in Vegas. Honestly, the museum is not that huge. Like, I mean, if you had a big group, like they'd probably have to break us up in chunks because it's like overall, like the halls are kind of small and stuff, and it would ruin the experience if too many people went in at one time. But like. I know in our case with like PLE, we usually, because he wears his mask, we usually do things like outside of the groups with stuff like that, just in case he has to take his mask off, which happened on the ship. So we have to be careful in groups sometimes. But like there's a bunch of stuff. Like I know we want to go to the Clown Motel at least one night. So to be able to do that. So before the festivities of the reunion happen, we're probably going to go do a bunch of stuff. So yeah.
But then that gives us like more opportunity to be able to spend time with the group as well.
Yeah, because we've already done the stuff that we would have done branching off.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, and there's just like so much things. Like I want us to go like have like a really, really good dinner, like us 4, like one night, you know, because there's so many great restaurants. There's so many great restaurants in Vegas, like 5-star restaurants that are like phenomenal. And I know PLE's been wanting to have a rare steak. Like he's wanted to try rare steak. And I'm like, when we go to Vegas, we're going to a very famous steakhouse. And he's going to finally try a really good rare steak. It's going to cost me, but we're going to do it. And let's like have a really good meal, have a really good night, and not worry. Like it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Plus we're staying in a really nice resort. So.
Oh, my goodness.
We're staying at my timeshare resort. So.
Oh, I see. But so I'm like super excited because there's going to be people coming to the reunion that couldn't make it to the first one, and there's going to be newbies as well that are just starting out. And I
know Kill Hut will be there. Charmaine's going to probably be there.
Yes.
I think Matt Second Star is going to go. It's like there's so many people that didn't make it last time.
Yeah,
so it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can get Adam the Paranormal Polynesian to come out, and there's a lot of YouTubers that live in Vegas, because I know there's like a few in my tarot community that live there, like really, really high end tarot readers that live in Vegas that are on YouTube, and I'm like, y'all need to come, like we all need to hang out.
Yeah.
Even if they don't come to like the banquet or anything, I mean, like still, like, let's all go hang out. Like we can always learn something from people in different like niches of YouTube, like what works for them, like, you know, and stuff like that. We can always learn. So
absolutely. I'm trying to change this light because the orange one's now died out, so now I look like Violet from Willy Wonka. So we're going to change the color a little bit.
Now you're pink.
I'm pink. I can go red like Zozo. Ooh. Okay, here we are.
That one's good. Like a golden. Now you got like a golden sun hue.
That one I do. Oh, my tripod. Everything's old and breaking. Half the time, like my laptop here, I say mine, it's PLE's. It's sat on top of a box, like just so it's high enough so I can see. Like I use a lot of boxes and cups and for leverage.
Oh my God. I used to do that with like the oatmeal cans that you get. Those were my favorite things to like stack stuff on and use as a tripod. I don't have to now. I have like so much stuff. I have like so many tripods. But I mean, like before, back in the day, you got creative. Like some stuff was expensive, so you had to be creative. Yeah. Like the stuff I've seen people make things out of, like, is so cool. So cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there's 9 people in the chat. So what are you guys all doing? What do you like for skincare?
Yeah, so we've spoke for 3.5 hours now. Who wants to join in?
I know somebody has something going on themselves. Because Shammy and I could speak all day.
Oh, absolutely.
You give us a chance. We're going till midnight here.
Exactly. This is your time, guys, because I'm on a Musketeers break right now. So
oh, she's got a chocolate.
I got a chocolate.
Look at who showed up. Look who showed his little masked self up. It's your man. Yell at him.
Go away. No, please don't. I love you.
Please come home soon.
Oh, don't. Honestly, I genuinely sit here all day just like looking at the clock like, oh, I've still got 7 hours before he's home. Like,
I know, right? I do that with Fluff sometimes. Like if I'm at home and he's not home, I'm texting. I'm like, are you coming home now? And he's like, not for like 3 or 4 more hours. And I'm like, no, now. He's like, no, I gotta be here to close. And I'm like, no, now.
Yeah, just come home now. I'm more important than work, so come home.
PLE, what's for lunch?
Yeah, what are you eating? I'm eating Musketeers that you brought me.
Looky who's wanting to come home and not wanting to deal with work. Would that be the masked man? Yeah. We talked about how awesome you are in dealing with us, or well, with Shani. You don't really have to deal with me too much, but with Shani and being girlish, and when you know, Dream You cheats, how you have to make up for Dream You.
When you're really horrible to me in my dreams, and you cheat on me in my dreams, and then I take it out on you in real life.
He's like, now I gotta go buy flowers and chocolate to make up for what Dream Me did last night.
But it wasn't me. Yes, in my dreams it was, okay? And you broke my heart.
Oh, look, both of the men are on, they're having lunch together. I told you. I told you they're snuggling. They're spooning.
Wow.
Our handsomes. They're over there. PLE, what are you eating for lunch? I think Fluff has tuna or something like that. I didn't make Fluff lunch today. I must such a bad
girlfriend. I stopped doing that like about a year ago. Actually, I don't think I even started. In my head, I'm like, do you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna make him a packed lunch. Gonna do him sandwiches. Like, just put some really nice stuff together so he can open it, and he's got like this great meal for lunch. And then I'm still in bed, and he's like, "Babe, I've got to leave in 5 minutes.
We'll carry on.
Get up." No, go away. I'm sleeping.
No, Fluff will let me. If I'm awake, he knows I'll make him breakfast, and then I'll pack his lunch. But then there's times where I'm like, here's a bag of tuna and a note that says I love you. Sometimes he doesn't get the note.
It depends what he did in your dreams that night.
If you were bad in my dream, if Dream You cheated.
Honestly, the older I'm getting, the more terrible I am at waking up. And my attitude. I used to be such a happy waker. Like I was.
You used to be a happy wanker.
No, wake. Morning.
No, you had it right the first time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Need to choose my words wisely. But I used to wake up so happy. But like the past couple of years, it takes at least half an hour. Like I can't look at anyone. I can't talk to anyone. So PLE's kind of learned this. And now he'll come in when he really wants to just see me, like before he goes to work, which is understandable. He'll come in and he'll give me a couple of kisses on my cheek, and then he just backs away, just like into the shadows. Like, have you seen the Homer Simpson when he just like drifts back into the bushes?
Into the bush.
Yeah, that's what PLE's like. He gives me a kiss and then that's it. He's gone. He's just fading away in the background.
Clevis, are you jealous because Shani doesn't change your diaper? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, I guess if he was like in a position where he couldn't wipe his own bum, I might, hire someone to help him with that. I love him that much.
Yeah.
Yes, it's baby. It's a kitten. It's a little kitten. He's gotten so big. He used to be so tiny.
So cute.
I wish he would. He's too lazy to wipe his own rear. Oh my gosh. This little one is like, he has no idea that I'm not his mom. Because he has to be near me. If he's awake, he has to be near me. Tony likes fart.
So cute.
He used to be so small. He was like this big when we found him. And he's like a good 3 times his first size. So he eats a lot now.
Aww. I need to look at him in the big screen. Oh.
You say hi to Auntie Shami?
He's just so scruffy looking.
Yeah.
Like he's
he was like well, it actually was him and 2 siblings, but they were like so weak, and like one of them passed because they were just unfed for too long. But this one, like, I mean, I had to feed him with a little tiny bottle. Like, I was up every hour trying to feed him. And, like, there were times I didn't think this one was going to make it because he was so weak, he would pass out when I was holding him. Like, he would just faint. And I was like, babe, I don't think this kitten's going to make it. But I tried and see, here he is. So Fluff has, like, adopted him. But, like, he's like, that's my baby boy. And I'm like, I thought we weren't keeping any more animals. And he's like, yeah, but this is Fart. And I'm like, all right. Because we did have to rehome a few already. Well, we didn't, like, that was the mission with them, was to rehome them. But people, like, sit there and be like, I have these, are you guys still accepting rescue pets? Because what we do is we'll take them in, get them to the point where they're nourished. We get them their first shots and everything. And then they go to find their forever homes. Because I just, like, in the areas that we live and where I grew up, like, there's so many stray animals and they would get killed or, in the streets or, just starved. And so I try to help, a life is a life. And so, yeah, I end up with little furries that I can't, like, cry when I have to let them go. But I don't think Fluff's going to let this one go.
Check this comment out. Look.
How about I run your cat over? Hi, baby. He's so cute. He bites though. He like nibbles. He's gotten to that bite stage.
Yes. Okay. So like PLE said here, the sand from Daniel's where he was last night, like the forest thing, it was literally like glitter. It had glitter in it. I swear. We were walking down. It's just this sand in a certain area. And it's sparkling as I'm walking through. It was magical to me. But like out where I fell over yesterday, oh my God. I'll send you a clip because I made a video clip. I fell over again and it covered. I gave myself a dead bum and a dead shin where I hit the floor so hard. But it's because I was looking at this glittery sand and it was raining and it was so slippy. And I was just getting all excited. My feet just went from underneath me. But yeah, that sand is everywhere. Like our clothes. I have to go over to the laundrette later actually and get the washing done.
Oh, we gotta do laundry too.
Yeah, but everything is sparkling in our bathroom right now. Like, where did this glitter come from? Like, who? It was almost like somebody just walked along like half a mile. That's how long.
Oh wow!
Half a mile, sand and glitter.
Yeah, he's wanting like the thing is, he's like, "Hey, pay attention to me," and it's like, "I'm holding you. Calm yourself."
But that's all the attention you need.
He's got like the like little scrunched up face. Like he's just so cute.
Oh, I love you.
And he got like his eyes are like huge and round.
Oh, I know, he's so gorgeous. I just like me and PLE were saying this the other day. Like it would just be perfect if like all pets could stay looking like little babies, like kittens.
That's what I told this one. I was like, don't grow anymore and you can stay here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean Cody still has sand in his car from the Carolinas. Dude, you're a thug. Like you carrying that trip all the way through till the next one.
Right.
I gotta do laundry and I want to go film. Poor Fluff. Like when he's ready to film, he wants to film everything of like the next year in one day. Like that's what he wants to do. He's like, all right, we're gonna film this. We're gonna film this. And then there's times where it's like you have to like stick a fork in him to get him to go and like film. But it's like when he's inspired, he's like, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it.
And that's good.
And I guess I'm the same way though.
But I get those moments as well. Like I love going out exploring and seeing what I can find and stuff. But when it comes to editing, I love it. I love editing because every single time I edit, I feel like it's different because I don't like things to be the same. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I like it to be very, very different. And I love it when I get to the end of editing. It's like, look what I did. Like, it may not be the best thing in the world what I did, but I did it all by myself. And it's a compliment.
Oh, I shock myself. I'm always showing Fluff. I'm like, look what I did. And
yeah, right.
Great job, babe. And I was like, and for anybody else, it's so juvenile. Yeah. But for me, it's like, I learned this.
Yeah, like, yay. But there'll be like times where it's like I'll whack out 3 videos in a week and I'm scheduling videos for the next few weeks because I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, filmed, I don't want to even touch my phone. I don't want to edit. And that's why sometimes you won't see a video for a whole week and then going on to 2 weeks because I physically can't pick my phone up. I'll go on to the editing app and then I'm just sat there looking at it like, I know I've got to make this video right now and I really want to make this video right now, but
I want it to be like, I want to wave a wand and it's edited and done. Like, that's what I want. Yeah. That's what I'm like, but see, I could never hire an editor because I'm too damn picky. Because I'd be like, no, I don't like that. And then I'd feel bad saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it hasn't got a little bit of you in it. Like, I want people to like see like the finished product and be like, that whole thing is Shani's, like, just everything.
And you can always tell, like, at least I can always tell when you really enjoyed editing the video. Like when you really were like, you know, this is going to be amazing. Like you could just, because the vibe of the video is just so you. And it's just so like, oh my God, this is so happy and cool. Like, you know, it has a passion in it. Like, and you can see it. And then there's times where you're like, I put that damn thing together and I'm not, like, you can always tell when you're like, that's not my favorite video. And you're like, but I put it out because I need to put something out.
Yeah. And I really need to stop doing that. Like, and it's not because I'm just not passionate about it and that. It's just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I do take my time and I won't put a video out. That's just because I don't just want to put anything out. But there are videos, like you say, that you'll watch of mine and it's like, that's just been put together. Like,
yeah. And because you've told me, you're like, I hope this does well because I just kind of threw it together and I was like, well, do you feel good about it? And you're like, some parts. You're like, some parts I enjoy. But that happens sometimes because, like, I think we get, like, editing block. Like, when we're just like, look, everything's jumbled together in my head. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what, to really, like, it's not popping out at me of anything that should or shouldn't be with it. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna, it's like making a stew. It's like, all right, I got this and this, I'll make something out of this,
Absolutely.
Instead of being like, I got everything for the recipe, right?
Absolutely. It's like the paranormal session we had in our haunted Airbnb. in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was something else. Like, so I haven't put that out yet. So everyone that's here, you guys, I don't know when you're going to see it, but it's, oh my God. What happened that night happened.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put it out yet because in my head it's not finished. I don't know whether it's because I didn't do an intro, which I can do at any point, but there's something else missing. Like, I feel like there needs to be a backstory because we were told a story by the owner.
Yep.
And what came through in our
coincided with that
was basically what the owner said, and that's brilliant. But I feel like I need to try and find the people.
Yeah. Like, have you ever had that where you're just like, this isn't ready yet? Like, it's not enough.
That's one of them, and I'm dying to get it out because I know when people watch it, they're gonna be gripped to their seats.
Oh yeah, that one,
it was terrifying.
Definitely. Well, at that point where you were doing the Estes method, and what was coming through, it was just like
I cried.
I can't say what it is without giving it away, so I can't say it, but
it got that intense. I was crying throughout the Estes method. It was intense
because there were points that it involved. I will say this: it was points that it involved children.
Yeah,
and it was just like remarkable what came through. Like, it really was, and you could feel it. Like, everybody said after we turned off the cameras, like, it feels so different in here. And it did. It really, really, truly did.
I literally got chills, like, just thinking about it.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal, like, even the video is not going to do it enough justice because being there, like, it was, at the end of Poltergeist, the movie where, the old lady, like, takes the spirits and, like, walks them into the light and everything. And she's like, telling them, like, it's over for you now. And it's like, that has that, like, almost like, moment, like, that's how it was, and that's how we felt. And it was like, for everybody, like, we went to bed that night and I think everybody was like drained, but in a peaceful way.
Yes.
So it was like something amazing just happened, and I don't even think we fully know how amazing or to the fullest extent what happened. It was like that was like a rare little, like, golden moment, I will say that much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm dying to get that out.
It's going to be a good video. Ready. That should be one of your, like, October videos.
Yes.
Because I know we have some, like, really good. We have to talk about what we're doing in October, because I know we're supposed to do. Nubs wants to bring back Friday Night Frights, but we definitely need to do something like cool this year, because we have, like, really good footage and stuff for once. And things like that, and, like, organize some stuff. Like, we've been so busy that we didn't even get to organize our Halloween our Halloween stuff. But which is good, because last year, remember, we didn't have as much stuff to put out. We were kind of grasping things.
Yeah,
but
and
this
I
year
was
we actually
still
have stuff
over here, so it was just
only
like
a month.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Again, I don't know if Friday nights is going to be good for me and PLE, but we could do Saturday Night Shrieks.
The Saturday Night Shrieks would work.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, because last year it was Friday, we'll do it as Saturday this year.
Yeah, Saturday Night Shrieks.
Because Fridays was kind of hard Fridays were hard for everybody, I think.
Yeah. And with PLE working till really late as well, bless him, and, traveling home from work, and probably like he's always still hungry because he's just.
Plus, you got to have dinner and stuff, and it makes it rough. So we'll do something, whether it's like, because we have, like I said, the Halloween movie comes out. We have stuff to, like, for once, we have stuff to do this Halloween. Last year was because you had just came over. So that, like, the filming that you were able to get was like, and then Gundry had just happened. The fire had just happened.
Yeah.
So that kind of.
I've actually been here like 6 weeks when it got to Halloween. So Tanya says that she lives in the place where the real Exorcist happened, and that was a little boy as well, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That happened to.
So that's what, Missouri. I want to say.
Yeah, Missouri. Oh, Fluffy, of course you do. He works Saturdays.
Well, I don't give a shit if he can still break his ass.
But that's cool.
And do from Saturday Night Shrieks.
Oh, there you are. You flipped. I thought you disappeared forever then, but you flipped over there.
It was an active Zozo.
But anyway, even if it is like he finishes at 7:30, I quite like the whole midnight.
Oh no, we do it late. You know, we do it late. No, it's supposed to be later. I mean, you know, we do it when we can. There might be a Saturday he opens. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know, but you know, there might be a Saturday we can do some stuff and have fun.
Yes, it's Missouri, she said.
No, the house that he first had stuff in was in Missouri. If you follow the whole story of The Exorcist, because he moved, like the family moved, so the original house I believe was Missouri.
Yeah.
Creepy story all around. Like that one really did get to me as a kid. Like the real story of The Exorcist, like the whole situation. They have it on Discovery Plus if anyone's interested in the whole backstory of The Exorcist. But it's that one I was like, it messes with you. But I think anything to do with like religious context and the paranormal can be that one really jerks the soul around. I still like it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, St. Louis. I thought so. Yeah. Ooh, well, sis. It's been fun. But I gotta go and do some readings.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You are a busy bee today. I should really be a really good girlfriend and make this place look beautiful for when he gets in.
We should probably. I got shit to do too. We should try. We're gonna try. But thanks everybody for being here. It was so much fun. Thank you, sis, for having me up. And we'll have to do this again.
It's always a pleasure. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm free all week.
Well, you never know. There might be a live that happens tomorrow. There might be a live that happens the next day. You never know. We have something to talk about.
So make sure that you hit the bell icon, turn on all post notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos or live streams that come your way. Also, please, guys, if you haven't already, and I'm pretty sure you have, but go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button and comment and just all that good stuff that you need to do for our beautiful Jen here, Tarot and Tea. She's amazing. Make sure you go and watch her videos as well. God blimey, I tell you what, if there's things you need to know, you're going to go and find it over there for sure. But Jen, it's always a pleasure. I love you so much.
Thank you.
And I love all of you guys too. And I appreciate everybody that takes time out of their days to just come and listen to us waffle about
nothing. We literally babbled for almost 4 hours, like consistently.
I know, it's crazy. I love each and every single one of you. PLE, go and do some work, please. And you, Fluffy, get to work now. I love you guys so much. And I will see you next time. Love you all.
Bye.